No, they think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Oh man, it's a wonderful evening to talk boxing, man, and we're soldiering through this thing, man. I promised y'all I wouldn't leave y'all without a funky, dope boxing show to step to. And this year I said I'm gonna be more of a man of my word, man. Even more so than I already am, because with the trends and how everything going, like these are the times when I would have said, you know what, let me take a break from this. Let me go do a couple woosahs, because I'm not understanding where the game's going. And I look at the game for the long haul. But I said last year, I said, no, this year when you start feeling like that, you gotta go harder. You gotta put out more content. Maybe you had to go back and dig through the crates and reiterate, and then you gotta come out with different things. So I got some things coming out I've been working on, man. I just gotta develop, because it's only a few people that fall into this category in this new series that I'm getting ready to roll out. But it looked dope. The cover looked dope. I'm just working on that and staying abreast of what's going on and trying not to get drawn into the gossip, the drama. Like, this is why I'm like, the channel kind of limits itself in a sense, because we keep the channel focused on the things that happen inside the ring. And we look outside the ring as it relates to things that's happening inside the ring. But when you think about it, man, when it comes down to boxing, if it was a 12-minute fight, that's 36 minutes. So out of all of the bickering, the arguing, the debating, the analyzing, the ridiculing, the criticism, out of all of that, and that's if it's a championship match or about that they, make 12 rounds. That's just 36 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's kind of hard to focus on what's just in the ring, but that's the task at hand and what it relates to boxing and how it impacts the longevity, the vitality of the sport. So sometimes we got to come out and we got to do things. But typically we would say, it might be an adversity university, but this is not quite an adversity university. Why? Because my man done went missing. Have you seen him? It's been 4 days, man. And I'm like, man, like, this is something that I address, man. When your fighters go dark, man, it's like, no, we got to keep the same energy. When one guy blew weight, we went ham. When another guy blew weight, we spoke on it. This guy didn't blow weight. Actually made weight, made the rehydration day weight, stepped off the scale and started yickety yakking and didn't look back. How about that? That is the meat and potatoes of the show. So that's going to be the meaty portion of the show. But we do got a lot of catching up to do. Not a lot, but like giving out perspectives and touching on pretty much the pulse of boxing. So we're going to sprinkle some of that in there and look at some trends and just have a good conversation, man. So if you rocking with your boy, man, Much love, much appreciated. We gotta go. We just need to get 5 super chats, man. Just keep it simple, man. Whatever is out there, support the channel, man, because it's not easy, man. And plus, when you start seeing people get paid for the same work that you do, you know that, yeah, I can get paid for it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially as the creator of it, I you know what I'm saying? I can get paid for that too. So support the channel, man. And with no further ado, AC, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Everything's great, bro. Just been in the lab, you know, as you're working on your thing, I'm steady grinding on my thing. So, you know, we both in our moments. We both in our creative spaces. So that's what these type of conversations are, step away from that, so we can generally just look at things, step away, and then come back with a fresh perspective.
And salute. Yep, I feel you. Salute Cookie Monster. Bodywork. Salute Cookie Monster. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Sounding amazing. That's what I like to hear, Cookie Monster. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, it's yeah, you always gotta step away, you know, and go back. I know when I really used to do music and I used to write, you know what I'm saying? If I was catching a blank, man, I'll put in a different instrumental or go outside, get some fresh air, just leave it alone and come back and just have it locked in and come back, man, and just keep measuring and you know what I'm saying, measuring so that when you go to cut, it'll be quite all right. But I guess we can get into the housekeeping and get the show on the road, man. I know we're going to cover a vast majority of the thing, but we know what the meat and potatoes is. We just going to open it up with some housekeeping per usual, if y'all don't mind. And I hope everybody doing all right, man. It was 55 degrees today, man. I said, man, you know, I was in the truck and I was just like, man, what the world? I'm getting all warm. I'm like, how the hell is it 55 degrees, like almost 56 degrees? And they talking about snow this week. I'm like, never mind. This weather is wild, man. It's like all of the snow that done melted and they keep calling for it. I'm like, are they gonna try to get us one last time with this snow? You know, but yeah, 55 degrees. How, was it warm up there today?
Nah, not as warm as you guys were. We only hit like the low 40s.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, well, let's get into Z housekeeping. Number 1, Naoya Inoue and Junto Nakatani all set for May the 2nd, 2026. And I know this is one of those fights to where the only other fight people been kind of murmuring about and, you know, speculating about is Bam in a way, but this is another guy that was on the list. People been talking about Shushu and Bam, but I'm like, Shushu and in a way, but I'm like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but with Nakatani, man, and the presence he got, and, you know, I think my eyeballs only seen it one time. I think people already had him on the pound for pound list, and I'm like, well, I mean, I hate to bring up this dude name, but the little dude from Baltimore, if he ain't on a pound for pound and Nakatani is, I'm like, I don't even want to I couldn't even remember what the rest of the list looked like, and I got a photograph from memory. I do know that he was on there, and you know, he do have offensive capabilities. If anything that he can strike, and that's one of the things that I always say with like the predators, the people that are finishers, killers, you know, Highlanders. In order to get with him, man, you're either gonna have to defang him or you're gonna have to crack him. You're gonna have to enact your will and impose your will. Just like Carlos Castro was doing with Shushu. He was like, man, it's either gonna be you or me, but one of us going somewhere, and he fought like it. He fought like he was going on his shield. He fought like a champ, you know what I'm saying, that was trying to defend it, or a guy that was actually trying to, you know what I'm saying, take somebody's strap. You know, I mean, Nakatani is one of them guys that I think his best potential, because of his height and his range, is going to be to attack Naoya. Especially since Naoya been getting touched and he been finding himself getting up off the canvas, a la like Tito Trinidad, where he would get up off the canvas to stop a lot of people. But he was accustomed to the canvas. That's how Anyway is looking. You got to think he's in his 5th weight class. You know what I'm saying? 4 divisions, back-to-back undisputed. You know, his time is ticking, and he ain't no spring chicken. And the task ahead, he might see some little names, but the fact that he's moving up in the divisions that he's in, fighting guys that are taller, longer, maybe, you know, sucking down to get to that weight. Even though him and Tank are like the same exact height with the same exact reach, they just got different body types and structure. So he can get away with sucking down and all that. Tank can't. You know, he might can a little bit, but then people really think it'll be a cheat code. But I know a lot of people are excited about this fight in May. You know, I talked to my father-in-law the other day. I chit-chatted him a little bit because I wanted to get his pulse on what happened this weekend and the landscape and what people are saying. But Anyway is one of his guys. Like, that's one of his premier guys. He actually was one of the ones that encouraged me to start looking at and getting in the Anyway, because I'm like, why are they pushing it? This was at a time when ESPN was just shoving them all down your throat, and there was other guys. I'm not going to mention them. It was other guys that was more familiar, a lot more dangerous, you know, bigger, naturally bigger. And so I kind of dismissed it a little bit. And then we got to talking. He said, no, listen, go and look. And I had seen some highlights and all that. He's like, no, go check this guy out. Like, go look at him. This little dude is tough. And I started watching him, and I appreciate him, and I started promoting him, and I started saying, man, I look back at the fights and watched them and the skills, and I was like, yeah. And then here lately, it's just I've been having to be a little stingy. I'm not gonna lie. I'll check out people from across the pond and all that, but I'm like, with the state of U.S. boxing, somebody needs to be around to actually encourage and advocate for anybody that's not a part of the program, y'all. It's chess being played. It's a chessboard out here. It's pieces moving all around, and if you don't know what you're looking at, you're gonna miss it. But however, we can't afford things like what Richardson Hitchins did, and we can't afford to like abandon the core of American boxing here. I see a lot of people are selling out and all that, so I kind of got away from doing content on Anyway. You know, that and the fact that a lot of people used to remix the joint and get paid. And I'm like, dang, ain't nobody really, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody putting, you know what I'm saying, nothing in the hat for old boys. So I was like, I gotta be focused more on the US, you know what I'm saying, just, you know, with the state of boxing and where it's going. I mean, we need stakes in the ground for our guys. Like, look at our talent. We starving at heavyweight. We got Boots. He's in limbo. Like, you can't even talk about him. You can't even ask no questions without people saying you hating. And he just sitting by the dock of the bay. It's been a whole nother, week or two since I said that. After November the 8th, we still can't. Look at our stars. Tank, he on a hiatus. You got the face mask of boxing running around. You got Devin, who's the super duper A-side to everybody. I mean, they saying this man can't get a fight. I'm like, God damn, well, ain't you the A-side? Are you the face of boxing? Like, you can't, the face of boxing can't get a fight. Gee, Whitaker's Batman. But in a way, it's active. You know what I'm saying? He's tried, you know, I think the older he get, the more time go by, the higher up he goes, the more at risk he is. And Nakatani is much like that whole ordeal we seen this past weekend with Hirioka and Gary Antoine. It's one of them to where Nakatani can be very formidable. It's all about, in a way, his defense and how, you know, sharp he is and how disciplined he is. He got some things technical wise that I'm starting to see now, and maybe because he's moving up and he's taking more risk, whereas there are some holes, you know, but every boxer got flaws. I know that the boxing community is looking forward to this. This was a long time coming. This is a big name fight, so I had to salute him because, in a way, you know, he doing predator type things. And Nakatani is right behind him. I'm not sure if you can say he's on the pound for pound list, but Nakatani is, you know what I'm saying, definitely dangerous. That's the first one. Abdullah Mason doubles down on his appetite. What do you mean, Mike? If you listen, I'm going to tell you, right? Abdullah Mason was being interviewed, and in typical messy garbage can fashion, you know, they got to talking about Keyshawn and all that. And that's kind of ironic that they was bringing up Keyshawn. I'm like, he said what he said before the whole weigh, you know, before the missed weight thing at the press conference. Then he blew weight. Then he don't get in there with De Los Santos. He jump up a weight division and he fights Jermaine Ortiz. And they're asking him, just like people asking him about Tank. I don't get when these people move up and out of a weight class, but then they want to look back like. But it's funny how that's always like in the interest of those guys. Like the Brat Pack, it's always in the interest of the Brat Pack. But you don't ever really hear them guys like asking somebody in a bigger weight class that might have had something, you know, might be able to get with them about these guys. Like, unless it's like the script that everybody got, like the Devin and Key. Okay, cool. But you don't do that. Like, you'll ask Abdullah Mason, who's busy running his own race down in his own division, looking forward until he fully decides to move up. And guess what? He handled it like a G. He basically said, man, listen, you know, that guy, you hear what he said, you see what he said, right? And then he's looking to move up and go do this and go do that. So I don't really listen to what these guys say. He pretty much was saying, I don't really same thing we be saying over here. We don't really be listening to what these guys say. We do, just so that sometimes we can make it, like we can really put it up to the light and, you know, gauge how foolish it sounds, how hypocritical it is. You know, the flip-floppiness of it, you know, we put it up to the light, right? But we watch how they move. That's what I'll be saying about stakes in the ground. Like, I'll be putting stakes in the ground so that at this time, at this place, at this date, this is where this boxer was, and these are the chain of events that got us there. So I applaud Abdullah, man. Don't get sucked into that. This man said, look, I still got appetite for smoke. I'm with the smoke. That's all he ever say, man. Listen, I got appetite for smoke, man. Like, I'm not worried about what these guys are saying. I'm watching how they move. And I got my brothers. I'm not trying to be buddy. Salute to Abdullah Mason. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Oshaki Foster, who moving the same way, man. I'm surprised the conversation between them two not coming up. You know, where Oshaki might can meet up. You know, I'm almost willing to see it, man. I kind of. You know what I'm saying? I want Abdullah to have, I want him to have what he needs. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the right dance partners, whether it's still, you know, some different matches, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's for him to, you know, have a couple more fights and then fight more. Because I've been saying he kind of need to go to 40. So in a sense, I can't just step on your toes for bringing up Keyshawn because Keyshawn at 40. But the thing is, he's talking about going to 47. So right when I start saying, all right, let's engage in this conversation, he's talking about going up to 47. You know what I'm saying? But Abdullah Mason is focused. I'm looking forward to seeing what his bounce back fight is, what his get back fight going to be. I'm not sure if it's going to be, I think Albert Bell might be off the table. I'm not sure. But I am staying tuned to Abdullah Mason, man. And we got to support these young guys because, listen, no matter how much money, you know, Floyd is losing or making, no matter how many times Clarissa then woke Papoose up for snoring, no matter all of that, it's guys out here that's doing what they're supposed to do and moving how they're supposed to move. And nobody, like, unless they say something sassy or crazy, nobody highlights them. Nobody keeps their stock high. Why? People don't really care about American boxing right now, man. The people's true colors are starting to show, man. We gotta get behind guys like Abdullah Mason. We gotta get behind guys like Oshaki Foster. You know what I'm saying? You always gotta give credit to somebody like Inoue and how they moving. These are predators. These are guys in my boxes to watch. Like, these are like guys that's move. Even the Brian Norman, the way he moves, the way he talks. Bam, the way he moved, the way he talks. David Benavidez, like, you know, we got to get off the beaten path sometimes and just take time out to appreciate what we got. They say what you appreciate appreciates. So I appreciate the way that Abdullah Mason is moving. The last one, Fabio Wardley against Daniel Dubois. Flame emoji, man. That's a instantly. I was like, yeah, somebody's definitely going to sleep. Somebody's definitely going night-night. I mean, I don't see in what world where them two collide and we get a fencing match. You know, somebody going night-night. And they both got the hands to do it. It comes down to who's going to be more disciplined, who's going to be more patient, who's going to show like the slightest adjustments. And I got a new word for y'all. Y'all ready? It's called generosity. It's called generosity. Generosity, if you ever hear me say generosity, that's basically chin insurance. Whoever got the best chin insurance, you know what I'm saying? And the deductible is going to be when we see their ass get hit. And how they bounce back. Like, that's generosity. Some guys, man, they got generosity. I think Mario Barrios, he got a little generosity. Like, we kind of, like, we could say whatever, you know what I'm saying? But he fought. But he got some generosity. He went down, and everybody say, like, when Devin got knocked down, they kept saying, but he got back up. Well, Mario, he got up, man. But I think, you know what I'm saying, that chin is a little more sturdy than what we give him credit for. It's just some pretty powerful people with the punch selection done touched it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think his generosity is okay. You know what I'm saying? It could be better, but that's my word for the day on that, man. And I want to know, who does everybody got between Wardley and Dubois? Like, right now, I think Wardley got the momentum. Dubois definitely has shown the potential, but it's depends, man. It's like, this depends on how Dubois coming out. Like, when he's aggressive and, you know, letting his hands go and focus, he's scary. Fabio Wardley just got that one punch game-changing power. Like, he could change the whole fight, you know what I'm saying? Getting outboxed or whatever. He can stiff leg. You doing the Bambi leg, the stinky leg, all those legs. But who y'all got, man? But that's the housekeeping, AC, man. You could just touch on whatever you want, man. And I know I said a lot, but I just wanted to get the housekeeping out so that you can, you know what I'm saying, get yours in.
I'm gonna start with one of the fights I like the most. I like a lot. I like the Wardley and Dubois fight. Like I said to you earlier, I for me, I'll be backing Wardley all through this. Wardley, yeah, he may lack the technical ability, but he's still at the stage of his career where will, just the sheer will of winning, seems to be one of those superpowers. Whoever the guy is to beat that out of him, that we'll have to see that. And for me, Dubois is just not that guy. It would be like we're seeing a trend where many fighters are becoming inconsistent in their performance. Is it stylistic matchups? Is what I don't really know what it is. But if it's stylistic matchups, then this one is good for the fans, great for the fans, but it may not play into Dubois' hands the way he thinks it might, because this dude is going to be coming to fight you. He's coming to stop you, make easy work of you, because you'll be a big name on his resume. He's got Joseph Parker, and then he's got you. The two guys that was previously supposed to fight for his belt. He then spins the block, fights both of you, and potentially can get the stoppage on both of you. So that's big as far as really building a blue collar, overseas heavyweight star, which American fighters are gonna, listen, we may be looking at the opening for however long it lasts. For however long it lasts, we may be looking at the beginning of the Wardley era, where the heavyweight is not the biggest guy, is not the most technical guy, but he's bringing us back of those heydays of George Foreman and stuff like that. And I'm not comparing the two, but for the UK, they've got a nice little run on their heavyweight champions and stuff like that. And American heavyweight boxers, we got to realize that that's an uphill task that American boxing is going to have to overcome. And any big fight for American heavyweight boxing will be like, the road to Oz. Follow the yellow brick road, and that's going to take you straight over to the UK. So, the UK is definitely establishing a gap between American heavyweights and UK heavyweights. They're producing a lot more, and I don't know what's the issue here in this country with heavyweights getting the spotlight. I really don't know what it is. I don't know why we're not seeing more heavyweights just on every card. Like, I don't even know how many heavyweights PBC has. Top Rank has, and things like that. So, yeah, that kind of lets you know how bad it is over here. So, moving forward to Mason, you just gotta appreciate the guy. There's nothing else that you can say. This is the fighter that fans been asking for. This is the guy that fans been asking for, and whatever his next move is, because he did say he's got some things cooking. So whatever his next move is, it is what it is. He kind of alluded that they may have it down to where he can be at 35 for a little bit longer than what maybe fans have expected. So that might be a good thing. And I just hope he's down there long enough for us to see possibly him and Albert Bell. I think that's a crazy fight at 35. And that's a fight I would love to see. Moving on to the Nakatani and Inoue situation. Hey, that's I ain't got no issues with that. I'm probably gonna be leaning more towards Inoue to win that fight, because for me, Nakatani is very telegraphed and he's slow. So it's stylistically, this should be a cakewalk for Inoue. He might get cracked, because he's going to get a little bit too relaxed, but this should be an easy fight for him. At least for me, looking at the two and knowing the two, this should be a real easy fight for Inoue. This is like a takeoff, an introduction to a new division that, at the end of the day, you're taking out a champion. So you gotta respect the move, but also understand the piece he's attacking on the chessboard. It's not one of the strongest pieces, even though it's in the back, with the kings and rooks and stuff like that. It's just a pawn looking for cover. So, in terms of Inoue, I'm just looking at this as a real easy fight for him. So, when the fight happens, that's what I'll be looking for, to see how easy he beats him. So, with that being said, that's how I'm calling it. That's how I see it, and we should be getting some pretty good fights, because right now Dubois and Wardley, Inoue, and Nakatani, we got some good fights to keep us away from the distractions. So let them have their distractions, let them have their circus over there and stuff like that, but we know what it is right here.
Well, Before we close out, housekeeping, just listen to what you said. I am warming up. I am warming up to what you said as far as the Wardley era. He will have a story because they're going to actually have to explain how he got his belt, and that's why I be looking at it, But that's why it got to be people reporting on it and giving out the climate of what happened, because you had the guy who had them all, who was undisputed, who said, "Nah, I'm not gonna fight that guy. I would have fought the guy that he beat, but I'm not gonna fight that guy." And so he let the belt go. And then I seen a weird. I said, "Man, I don't know. Is somebody playing?" But I seen an image with Usyk up there, and it said Usyk to Zuffa. I said, if Usyk go to Zuffa, I'm like, man, this. I don't know. I just gotta let it settle and I seen all the names. I didn't see the name. I didn't see that name on there, but I did see a bunch of names. Like out of each page, I probably knew like 2 other fighters. You know what I'm saying? It was like 4 pages. I mean, so I don't know, man. But I'm warming up to the possibility of this being, the Wardley era. I mean, his stablemate. Itama, a lot of people are, they're hitching their trailers to that wagon, so we got to see with Itama. I think it's just a little bit too soon with the heavyweight, and it's one punch that can change it. The question I have for you, AC, is they say like every time you get knocked out or stopped, like the easier it is, because it's almost like the brain is quicker to shut down and to try to preserve itself. Do you think Dubois, you think how's his chin insurance? Do you think is his punch resistance going down, or he was just going against a very skilled guy who caught him right?
I would probably say 2 things can be true at the same time when it comes down to that question. Yes, he was facing a skilled guy. That's number one, and number two, if you look at how he went out, you can tell his chin insurance is no longer at a premium. Like they're trying to sell you that plan on sale. Like if you buy this plan, we'll also give you a toaster, a watch, and a blender. So for me, that's what it is. Like where I'm at with Dubois. Dubois is a very, very dangerous, semi-high level gatekeeper. That's where I have to be honest about Dubois. He had his opportunities, but he just can't put the whole package together enough to whereas when he gets one belt, he can keep that belt and then go on a run. You know what I'm saying? And this is where we are with Wardley. This is the second fight in Wardley's run. If you want to establish yourself as the Wardley era and you are the heavyweight, that Usyk decided to clearly avoid. I'm not going to use the word duck, but clearly avoid. Then smacking Dubois to sleep is the second fight to you accomplishing that goal. Then we can really legitimately start to ask that question. Is this the Wardley era? Like on some real shit. Look at who he's been fucking up. It's just this. Let's just look at the list of guys he's been going after and the list of guys he's been stopping. The argument is there. And Dubois right now is like, yeah, that was the run to get to be able to now establish your run. So you had to go on a pre-run, and then now you can go on your run. And when you look at his pre-run, he established some shit there. Now we looking at his runs as a champion. Now we got to be like, bruh, this dude may be a special blue collar type dude that everybody can get behind. Yes, Moses and Tom is going to be there, but you know, for me, Moses and Tama, right now, you might be Shakur to Terrence Crawford. So we just got to see, you know, what he does in this fight. If he puts him to sleep, doesn't make it look difficult, doesn't leave us asking any questions like, is this guy up and down? He's been consistent in a tough fight with this guy. Then he went into a tough fight with this guy. And then, you know, he just smacked this dude to sleep. So he's learning something from those tough fights. This is what we got to see. So he's at that moment, just like we, you know, just to get on kind of segue into the meat and potatoes of it, just like Hitchins was, you know, by fighting, what's the name? That was the beginning of his run, his pre-run. And unfortunately, his pre-run starts when he got the belt. So,
Yeah.
you know, he fucked his pre-run up. Now you got to go back and, you know, just establish a line right now. So Wardley's doing everything right within boxing fans that are looking at him. And if we really, really look at the dude, he's doing everything right to be like, yeah, I'm establishing myself as a fucking man because I'm doing it from the mud. I'm straight up blue collar. And I don't have the pedigrees of these guys, but these guys, number one, don't have my drive. They don't have my will. They don't have the ability that I have to make it happen. Here's the crazy part. It's about 40%, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. It's a plus or minus, but I think it's around 40% of high-level chefs that have 1 to 3 Michelin stars that never ever went to culinary school. Some of these dudes were electricians, doctors, scientists, and shit like that. And they just walked away from all of that just to cook food. And now they're some of the best chefs in the world. So what that always tells me is that if you have a deep enough passion and a deep enough will, you can actually be the best at something because everyone else won't take those tiny little steps that you take to ensure that your standard is higher than everyone else's because you don't have their pedigree. So you're always your own worst critic. And that's what these motherfuckers I don't think they realize that's what they're up against in a Wardley.
Yeah, and it's funny you say this, and I'm gonna close out with this, but it speaks to something you talked about as far as you didn't know what was going on with the heavyweight. That thing that it seemed like a lot of those guys have over there, it's like I didn't really see that. I haven't seen that thing in any of the heavyweights over here. Even when I did evaluation this past week on Jalen Edwards, and I'm like, man, you got to be more inspired. Like I think that the heavyweights over here are uninspired. I think that they got caught up in playing the I'm on this promotional company game without it being all messy. But I think it was a little bit of that going on. And when Turkey came out and he started giving them bags, all the heavyweights from across the pond started mixing it up, and the cream was rising to the top. You know, Jared went over there and tried to do his thing, but like it's like people done went and limped off over there or just didn't have a good showing. And right now, I think until we be honest about how some of our guys need to just hang it up and go into a different chapter and make room for the next up and comers, we're gonna be in heavyweight U.S. heavyweight purgatory. Yeah. Whereas we see somebody, they might be all right, whatever, and it just depends on how they're getting matched and how hungry they are, and you know, all these things. You know what I'm saying? I think FA, he's doing all right. FA is kind of coming on strong. We got to see what's going on with Frank Sanchez and Torres. They're trying to push Torres, but Olympic pedigree and all that, I don't know. But I think maybe he's inspired, but like I was looking for something else in my U.S. heavyweight. No knock on him. It's just, I got a style, or I think, I think, I don't know. I seen some things in him and his style that I just not my kind of fighter. And I think that a lot of these guys are just uninspired. And until somebody, say, listen, man, I'm about to take over. I'm about to have my take. Like, nobody's really doing it. Ain't nobody really saying. I think for a minute we had hope in Jared, and I had always called him and Wardley from across the pond years ago, saying, man, I could see them two getting it on.
Yeah.
What happened with Jared, and he's coming back, but I think when I look back at it, I think he enjoyed the spotlight and the attention of being the next. But even when you look at him in the interview and how he was, talking to Roy and stuff, it was like, man, I didn't never see Tyson like that. You know what I'm saying? I never seen Lennox like that. I've never seen like the guys that I rock with heavyweight. I never seen them like be like that. Like it was like, nah, I'm knocking your head off. Like the heavyweight is like, what I'm saying? Like
big man.
It's like, I'm in the mess hall. Like I'm in the, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody at ease when I come in. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't no, I don't know, but I think nobody's inspired and nobody really like has the cojones right now. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately.
When you look at Riddick, right? You look at Shannon Briggs, right? You look at Tyson. When you seen these dudes off, like not in the ring, and there's just a news clipping of them, they in the crowd and they still had a scowl on their face. Like the first person that say something wild to me, I swear to God, I'm gonna smack your fucking face off your skull. So these heavyweights don't command that, like, oh shit, that's big, man. Like you know he not gonna hit you, but just because he walked past you in a certain way, you like, damn, how a nigga make me feel like I would be scared of this dude, and he ain't even paying attention to me. Yo, this dude got presence. Because honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. The first time I seen Mike Tyson, that's how I felt. I got scared for no fucking reason.
He was menacing, man. Yeah, Mike Tyson was menacing, man.
Yo, I just looked at this dude and was like, yo, if this nigga get mad at me, I am dead. You feel what I'm saying? And he was just walking past me, and that's the thought that came into my head, and I was like, yo, what the fuck's up? I had to literally shake some shit off and be like, hold on, pass me that blunt, man. I need some fucking courage. Maybe I'll fucking, you know what I'm saying? But he just had that presence until, honestly, I got to like talk to him and know him like, oh shit, you just a down-to-earth dude. But because you have that mean streak, people think that shit is 24/7, 365 or 366 with you. So I get it, but these dudes that are heavyweights now, you know, we off the couch motherfuckers. You feel what I'm saying? Half of us, and it's just like, nigga, I'll fuck you up. Like, you heavyweight what? Kiss my ass, I'll beat your ass, bro. You ain't shit. Shut the fuck up. Talking about you.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So that's the vibe they give us. And I'm with you 100% on Richard Torres. Cause I'm just like, I don't know what it is about you, bro. I don't know if it's the 1980 porn mustache that make you look weird with the curly hair. I mean, maybe it's the fact that when I watch you box, you look like I'm looking at Sylvester Stallone in one of those Rocky movies. Just a whole lot of moving and just throwing punches. And I'm like, bro, you really expected that shit to reach somebody? You know what I'm saying? So I really don't know. I can't put my finger on it of why I just don't like Richard Torres. Maybe it's his style of boxing. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't sell me. It just makes me look like, if you get in there with a Moses and Tama, he gonna knock you fucking stupid. Like if you get in there with an FA jogger, he gonna fuck you up. A Frank Sanchez without the Patrick Ewing knee braces, he'll beat the shit out you. Like I look at this dude. I look at the dude and I struggle to see who he can beat. And for me, it's people like Jermaine Franklin and maybe a couple of other dudes. Like, but I don't really see you doing anything. I think you need a whole new trainer. Maybe, go to one of them Spanish or Mexican trainers and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they could tighten you up and, get you where you really need to be. Maybe you don't even belong at heavyweight. So I don't know what it is with Richard Torres, but again, let's just get into the meat and potatoes because I don't know what else to say about that dude.
All right, then, we can do that. Get into the meat.
Hold on. Before we do that, just allow me a couple of minutes for one of my rants, the devil in the detail type rants and shit like that. And it's something we spoke about earlier. And as we, we're soaking up the aftermath and, we're looking at what's coming up next. We're kind of in this like kind of down moment to whereas some content creators are looking for something to say. And when you look at what they're playing and how they're trying to say it, and you're looking at Ward and everybody, they're all trying to perpetrate or tell us that a particular fighter in the name of Shakur Stevenson is that guy. You know what I'm saying? And I really feel that for me, I can only stand a couple of minutes of these interviews because they're not doing anything. They're not telling me anything. He's not saying, any big fights or really saying any dangerous fights he's going to pick up. They're just asking him his opinion and shit like that. And I really don't want to watch, a reaction video disguised as an interview. So with that being said, where I'm at is this. In an interview, it happened with this guy, Andy something. He has a boxing channel over in the UK because you can tell he has a UK accent. And it was the video concerning Shakur Stevenson talking about Tank Davis and they could make the fight on this particular date. That's all irrelevant because in the very beginning, he was asking him about Bud actually making a fight with Terrence Crawford, and he said Bud's crazy, and the dude was like, elaborate. And he was like, yeah, if you really looking for greatness like that, and to be great on that level, you got, there's got to be a certain amount of craziness to you, and Bud is definitely crazy. He don't back down from no challenge, and he looks at things like that. And I personally feel that he doubled down on it, that you got to be crazy if you're going to be one of the great ones. So it made me think while he was saying that, like, okay, what actual crazy thing that you did if everyone knows you as a safety first fighter and a defensive fighter? Defensive guys can't be crazy because your whole thing is to protect. I don't go out, I just protect. And that I feel that the threat is not that bad, then I go out and do what I got to do. So as they keep trying to convince me of how great this fighter is, it keeps making me double, triple down and ask, out of your own mouth, what are you doing that's crazy? What can we consider that you're doing that's crazy? Now, we got to see what his next fight is, who it's going to be. Will he go down and take the Oshaki deal? Will he, continue with the whole I'm chasing Ryan type of deal, showcase fight, however it's going to be. But Or will he do that? It's obvious that they're trying to talk Ryan to come down and not him go up to show that he is crazy like Bud Crawford. So yeah, that's kind of it. It's just my observation, just my little thing that makes me question what I'm seeing. Is this a perception versus reality thing, or is this reality based in some sort of fact? And right now, it's still heavily like this is a perception versus reality. I am Neo right now, writing those programs, looking at this shit and questioning this my own reality. So that's where I end this.
Yeah, I mean, to preserve myself, I've seen plenty of things out there, and I haven't allowed myself to indulge in it. Like, I don't really care. Like, I don't think I don't even like the idea of Ryan going down to 40. Like, none of these things make sense, because I mean, no, you get somebody up to where they're healthy and all that, and for what concession? Like, when I look at the run, I'm not doubting the run. No, just anybody can't just get up and go get a silver medal. That's not what I'm saying. Like, it's that's damn near impossible. Even if you are good, like, and to medal, to be an to be an Olympian, to come that close, like all of that, nobody can do that. Nobody can just become a champion. Like, I understand all of those things, let alone go up 4 divisions. But when we do everything and we put these guys on the scale and we say, okay, apples to apples, orange to oranges, like, what was the level of competition? What was the history of when did they catch these guys? What time was it? Were they the man, or was that a legacy, or was that, like, you gotta analyze it. So I've done that. I was a diehard Shakur fan. And when I look at the run and I look at the level of competition and the circumstances, it was a vacant with Joette. It was a vacant with De Los Santos, and they set a record. There was no urgency to run it back and all of that. Like, everybody else want to, run that back, run that back. We might even get a Frank Martin and an Albright. Run that back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shit, Tank could run it back with Ryan. He could run it back with Pitbull. He could run it back with Roach. Yeah, run those back. Like, everybody got a run back. But when it came down to De Los Santos, no run back for what? Then you got the BFF thing. And then you got them two. And it brings me to this, y'all. Look, I want to show y'all this. Let me show you something. I'll take this banner. I gotta hide this just so y'all can see. Look at this. Nothing to see here. I'm just gonna point out that I don't know if there's some kind of duality. And see, I could do material on a whole different, ball game. I just don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to go into that ball game, but I'll give you a glimpse. When you look at it, it's a level of duality. It's this light versus dark. It's a duality. It's a yin and a yang. And so there's history where, Keyshawn just got baptized, and now he's into the Lord, and, he's supposed to be, changed, and he's on that path. And but just like when, Devin, decided he was going to join, the Nation of Islam or pick up that faith, or however, I'm saying? No offense. However it get down, when he did that, he got a lot of support from guys of that faith, and that's what's going on with Keyshawn. He did also come back, getting the win column, got a stoppage, did something to Jermaine Ortiz that nobody has done, and he did Bodywork. So his stock has kind of, settled out. Now people want to see what's next, but people want to see what's next for both of these guys. And if you look, he got a cross. He basically has a cross square. And I'm like, you know, it almost went back to like when I seen Tank in that hat and it said sex on it. And I'm like, in today's day and time, you know, but it was like it was pink, you know what I'm saying? I seen all of them guys. I seen Devin with it on, I seen Richardson Hitchins had a black one with lime green on it, but as something, you know, they all advertise whatever, you know what I'm saying? So this could have been the same thing. This could have said sex vertical and it could have said sex horizontal. And in my mind, I'd have been like, okay, sex. That's how we all got here. Okay. But that don't say sex. That says sin. Now I'm not into, you know, regardless of what I'm into. You know what I'm saying? Just remove whatever I'm into, whatever I believe, whatever I don't believe, whatever. I'm not into whatever it is. Let's just parking lot what I do know that word. And to have that word in a cross, vertical and horizontal, we lit. I try to tell y'all it's a chessboard out here and there are pieces. And we all know you can go to some of these other channels and they you know what I'm saying, they'll go down to the bone gristle. If I wasn't doing boxing, I'd probably be in the bone marrow, you know what I'm saying, teaching something right now. But I'm not. I'm choosing to talk about boxing. I just found it was interesting that it's this duality, and then, you know, they're like Romulus and Remus, you know, Jonathan and David, Wily Cat, Batman and Robin, whatever you want, a dynamic duo. I thought they were the Young Guns, and I was wrong. They're really Batman and Robin, you know, Romulus and Remus, Cain and Abel, maybe. I'm not sure what kind of message that is being communicated. It's just safe to say that there is a message. And I'll leave it at that. There's nothing to see here. I just wanted to highlight how, you know, Keyshawn pretty much said we lit and got a picture of him and Shakur that's very interesting. And to close this portion out, this is not the first, like, let's say different t-shirt I've seen Shakur in. Because when he got in the ring with Devin Haney, he got in there with a Dennis Rodman shirt, but it wasn't Dennis Rodman like when he was out there being the garbage man, you know, like getting all the rebounds and blocking shots and, you know, taking charges and committing like hard fouls to get people to go take a timeout. Not that type Dennis Rodman. It was a Dennis Rodman that looked a little made up, you know, a little what you call that stuff? Mascara-ish. Don't take my word for it, but this is, you know, he's got a thing for these, like, you know, these very interesting, shall I say, or different t-shirts, Shakur, that is. But it's nothing to see here. It's nothing to see here. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the meat and the potatoes. Last seen 4 days ago, the IBF junior welterweight champion, Richardson, Africa, Hitchins. Where is my... There we go. We back. You know, he made weight. They both made weight. You know, people were talking about Richardson Hitchins and how bad he looked, and Duarte looked incredible. You know what I'm saying? You take away that little half a bicep situation he got going, you know, he looked incredible. He looked like he was in shape. He didn't look sucked in, drawn. He looked healthy and up for the challenge. What happened was Richardson Hitchins wakes up the next day, and with the 10-pound rehydration, this is why I say you got to give these guys with the IBF extra credit when they follow through and do it. Now, he made weight. He said he got off the scales. He went, started eating, and he started up chucking. He called, you know, y'all, some of y'all done used to get, you know what I'm saying? I know y'all done had a few drinks, and they say you call Earl. How many of y'all done called Earl before? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think we all done called Earl. They said he was calling Earl, and then next thing you know, the fight was off. And I said, yo, I couldn't even believe it. I said, man, you know, I'm one of them channels, man, that I'll put a stake in the ground for you and for Richardson Hitchins. I put out several. You know, I call myself holding him down because I think that, you know, it's, you know, sometimes the guy that's the least favorite, the guy that's coming up, the guy that do things a certain way, I believe that they need to be highlighted. Why? Because it's easy to talk about what's popular and the most popular in the face and all that. But if you're going to do it, be unique in doing it. Like if you're going to talk about Tank, bring out something special. Something that ain't nobody else saying. Not just the same old sloppy garbage, drama, double fenced it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dude, so I tend to like the Subriel Matiases of the world, the Tito Mercados of the world, the Frank Martins of the world. You know, before Lamont went Hollywood, the Lamont Roaches of the world, the Oshaki Fosters, the Shushu Carringtons, the Jahai Tuckers. Like, you got the Brian Normans. Like, I can go on and on and on. You know, we got to do that. So I was doing a lot of that for him. And see me, I keep it all the way a buck. This could have been another adversity university. But with the thumbnail say a UD with question marks, because yes, I question whether that was a unanimous decision. Even though I still awarded Richardson Hitchins the credit. He never got dropped. You know what I'm saying? He did clinch, but he did, you know, most people do it. They say by. So I've come out and I've done adversity university. So he has not gone without criticism, just like all of my other guys. Gary Antoine was in adversity university when he lost to Puello. But I don't get all dogmatic and shit on them, especially if they're one of my guys. I'll just point out what I saw and what could be better and what I didn't agree with and just my overall analysis. I've done that with Richardson Hitchins. If I call you my guy, I've done that on you. Tank was in my adversity university after Lamont Roach. So I put down stakes in the ground. I've been outspoken with Richardson Hitchins because, you know, I'm like, yeah, man, when he talking stuff, yeah, he talking this stuff. This was not a good move. You know, and even though I consider him an elite boxer, I said that this fight right here, this would be a legacy moment for him. Why? Because Coach Lenny gets to go against, you know, Robert Garcia and the Robert Garcia Academy and pupil, and Oscar Duarte, who's grown since the Ryan Garcia thing. And I always say that, you know, Richardson is one of them guys who, like Rodney Dangerfield, he don't get no respect. So I was saying this is like, you know, right now, like you snatched your belt from Leon Paro, who beat the man who was the man, the boogeyman, right? Subriel Matias, right? So you beat him. Made it look fairly easy. Guy like made him put his hands in his pockets. You know, he didn't give up, but he just, you know, kept running right into that. It was like a T.O. thing, like where you just made him, like it was like T.O. and Shakur, where you just, you know what I'm saying? Same performance. And snatched that belt off. That was the same performance as what you seen Shakur do to T.O. Wink, wink. Same exact performance. You come back, you stop Kambosos. Okay. Because I said it was legacy defined when he beat Liam Paro. It was legacy continued when he beat Kambosos. This was a legacy moment now with Oscar Duarte. And it's like, I can't go all the way in on you, and I probably wouldn't because, you know what I'm saying, you're not that outrageous. Like the trash talk get a little cringy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand you playing the politics, but I mean that I wouldn't be able to play the politics. So, you know, I do have, it flies in the ointment with Richardson Hitchins. So I can't go ham because you made weight. And then after that, you got sick. That's where Oscar Duarte come. Oscar Duarte put this man in a dress with earrings on and saying he was scared and he, you know, he was fearing. I was like, what happened, man? This man caught the duck flu. This don't look right. And this is one of the things where I be trying to tell young fighters, like, be more like Abdullah. If this happened with Abdullah, they're going to be like, if this would have happened, and I'm not speaking this on Abdullah, I'm just using him because he's the prime example. But if something like this happened with Abdullah right now, they'd be like, man, something must really be wrong. Why? Because he has all the credibility in the world. He's not hardy and high-minded. He's not on the internet every 5 minutes talk. Yeah, he's saying he want that smoke and all that, but he's not part of the Brat Pack. He stays focused. You know what I'm saying? He's also a knockout artist too. You know what I'm saying? He's a finisher. You know, more exciting style, younger, you know, more vibrant, like just a consummate professional. He don't have all of the outrageous hot takes and all of that you have. So to get us all riled up and you couldn't hose us down, it's not even that, because listen, things happen. I know every autumn and getting ready to go to work and you realize you got the diarrheas. You got mud butt. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be able to do it. I understand. So you didn't even have a bad day at the office. You didn't even make it because you had mud butt. And you had to call Earl. Okay, cool. The crazy part is not coming out and talking to everybody. Because if you were going to be so loquacious and full of words and, you know what I'm saying, just out there just running in the mess hall with your chest out before, then you got to come out and say something afterwards. You got to think, you don't have the same leverage that the Brat Pack has. They don't look at you there. You a distant cousin, but you a cousin. You come over, you know what I'm saying? Like, the ones that live around the way, you could be a cousin and go over there and yeah, you family, you know what I'm saying? You in there, you in the family tree somewhere, but you the cousin. You ain't there all the time. So you don't get the same treatment. This, in my opinion, was a very bad look. The only thing I can say is that it must be really serious because Richardson Hitchins hasn't been getting to the big bag like that, and you can kind of bracket the, you know, about the amount of pay that he was looking. You got to think this is a missed payday for him too. This is a missed payday for Coach Lenny. Now this is why I credited Coach Lenny, because Coach Lenny is the kind of guy you always want, you know what I'm saying, in your corner. Now, he did come out and face the media, and he said, listen, man, same thing I just said. He weighed in, everything was fine. He made the weight, he got off, and in the course of, you know what I'm saying, after he made weight and whatever he did after that, he got sick. He was like, it happens in boxing. He was like, listen, he just got sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's things like this happen. It's unfortunate, but, you know, but at least he faced the media. This is what I be trying to say with all my guys, because there's a lot of guys out here that'll make up drama and spit stuff and spin do all kind of wizard sorcery over, you know what I'm saying, a guy that they just want to deride. We don't do that here. I was looking at that last week. We talked about a little bit of everybody. Like everybody. One by one. Oshaki, Gary Antoine. Like, it's always a different name and we try to keep it subjective. But Richardson didn't leave us with anything. He lost a payday. His stock went down. You know, because you got to think, yeah, you could have gained the Mexican fan base, but man, the way they looking at you, because they wanted to see their fighter and they wanted to test you right now. And until proven otherwise, everybody saying, man, who's going to beat the shit out of you and all that. I don't believe that. But like, this was not good for the stock. You know what I'm saying? Like, this wasn't good for, you know, Duarte and Robert and all the work they put in and, you know, all the training that they put in, the money that they spent and all of that. But to go silent, to go dark, that's not good. To book and everything, I always say I needed to get all of the information, but I just want to do this one thing, AC. And I want to do this one thing. Just because I like to be thorough. To say what's next, like just to go over something. And I'll get to the comments in 1 second. I haven't been watching them, but I'll get to the comments. My bad. This is by Bad Left Hook, SB Nation. And there was several articles on this. This is the one that was just like, it wasn't extra. It was just straight to what was going on. But IBF orders Richardson Hitchins to face Lindolfo Delgado. This is by Patrick Stomberg, February 25th, 2026, 11:22 a.m. Oscar Duarte will have to wait for his first title shot. And they got an image of Richardson, Hitchins, and Oscar looking at him. I don't know how to take that. But history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. Late last year, IBF super flyweight champion Willibaldo Garcia pulled out of a planned showdown with multi-division titleist Kenshiro Teraji at the 11th hour. Attempts to reschedule the match hit a brick wall when the sanctioning body ordered Garcia to make an overdue title defense against Andrew Maloney, which is currently in the same purse bid delay limbo as Dimitri Bivol and Michael Eifert. We got research to do. We got homework to do, y'all. Y'all know Bivol, one of my guys, man. The Matador. That same situation is now playing out again. Dan Raphael and Jake Donovan report that super lightweight champion Richardson Hitchins, who withdrew from last Saturday's planned defense against Oscar Duarte after falling ill on fight day, is now on the clock to meet mandatory challenger Lindolfo Delgado. The two have 30 days. Come on, you guys. What are you doing? I don't even look like Selena Gomez. The two have 30 days to come to terms, effectively putting the Duarte matchup on ice. Delgado, 24-0 with 16 knockouts, is coming off 2 straight narrow victories. Losses, in my opinion, especially to my man Elvis Rodriguez and that other guy. Both clear losses to me. One a majority decision over Elvis Rodriguez, and the other a contentious split over Gabriel Galaz Valenzuela that saw the former Olympian hit the deck in the final round. He's with Top Rank, but Bob and company have been accommodating of other promoters throughout their search for a broadcast partner, so it shouldn't be difficult to put this fight together. That said, it's not entirely clear to me why Hitchins, 20-0, 8 KOs, doesn't just move up to 147. He's got the size for it. He's clearly killing himself to make 140, and the only thing Matchroom could presumably be saving him for is a unification with Dalton Smith. Patrick Schomburg, bad left hook. So they got 30 days. And it's probably going to be Lindolfo Delgado.
Well, for me, the issue is number one, I could say things like this, and maybe many of the dog owners out there would agree to it, and maybe many of us who are just workaholics will find this thing to be irrational reasoning. At the end of the day, I let's say you forget to feed your dog, right? And then you feed your dog, and they eat, they're munching that shit down. They're drinking a whole bunch of water. And then before you know it, they're throwing up, and they're throwing what looks to be like whole chunks of food. You like, what the hell, man? You scarf that shit down that much that you throwing up like that? I've been at work at times, and I was like, yeah, I'll make me something to eat, or I'll grab something to eat on my way to work. And on that particular day, everything was just right there. The trains, everything was just right there. And as soon as I walk in to the restaurant, deliveries are there, and it's like, God damn, now I got to get right into it, because there's also a booking or whatever that the owners want to do, and all of this other stuff. So now, because you're busy, all of this stuff done backed up, and now it's anxiety and adrenaline running. And then I stop and the only time I can eat is the family meal. And while I'm eating it, my stomach is like, I mean, before I'm eating, the stomach is going all crazy. When I did eat, it made me feel sick and nauseous. Like, hold on, I think I'm gonna throw this goddamn food up. I just gotta sit here a second, and then it's like a good burp that'll clear everything out and stuff like that. So in that particular moment, and I'm not trying to make any excuses, but I can see where something like that would happen. We also saw that Eminem moment when he was in his videos, and I guess they put that there because that was a real thing for him. When he's getting ready to battle, he run in the bathroom and he throw up. It's not a good look for Hitchins because, again, the one word you used earlier, Body, that is most relevant here is credibility. Hitchins has lost a lot of his credibility because you said one thing, but then the fights didn't happen, and because who you are, where you're coming from, people look at New Yorkers a certain way. And if a New Yorker's out here talking shit, that New Yorker better back it up. You know what I'm saying? So when you come out and you're talking that extra shit, and then the fight doesn't happen, you're slowly taking away from your credibility, because what you're saying we may not believe, or most likely is not going to be believed. And the mere fact that you're not coming out and saying anything, and it's been days late now, let somebody had said something about you being a born fighter, you had no power, or you can't sell out, you probably have been on Twitter already talking to that person. So that's where, for me, the issue lies. I can see ways of where the anxiety of this fight, knowing that, maybe you're hearing some of the chatter that's saying, yeah, this is a big fight for him. This is going to start to solidify and put you on your path so you can have your run. You know what I'm saying? Or start to get in a position of now having a legit run, and you getting all the big names and everybody's willing to fight you and the bag that goes along with it. Because this whole thing happened like that, it's unfortunate. Shit happens. Timing, no, this doesn't look good. Yes, if I was on the opposite side, I would be milking this shit like a fat cow. Like, nah, I am not letting you live this down. So I get it. I also get the fact that everybody, a bunch of people lost their pay and trained for nothing, and if this 30-day mandatory thing is really ticking like that, then my whole suggestion is this. That happened to you more likely because I believe you did everything, you starved yourself, and then when you ate, you didn't moderate what you ate. You didn't start off with something slow and then build the foundation. Your stomach was probably on E for hours because you shouldn't be at 140. And if that's the case, this is the second time it's happened to you, then get the fuck up out of 140. It's clear you don't belong there. Go to 47. I agree with the author of the article in saying, go to 47. 140 ain't it for you. Yeah, it's the road. Yeah, that's where you can make your name as far as like saying, yo, I'm from the mud, respect my gangster, because I did it at 140. But time is not on your side. Biology is not on your side. So that's where I landed. Calico, what's good, bro? Calico.
Peace. What's going on with you?
What's going on?
Salute to y'all, brothers. Man, like, Like this is the last time I'm gonna talk about that dude, man. You know, nah. Like he disappointed everybody, and he never really delivers. Like, of course he dominated Kambosos, but nobody wanted that fight. Like, man, we would have wanted you to pull out of that at the last minute. We don't give a fuck about you versus Kambosos. And he won't stop talking about this shit. I bet he won't be so vocal. Like, he won't be as vocal about this situation. Like, he's not gonna bring that up as many times as he brought up the Kambosos victory. Oh, like, man, bro, he made New Yorkers look bad. He make it seem like New Yorkers ain't nothing but some jawjackers. You feel me? Because they good as hell at talking, and it seems if they anything like Richardson, Hitchins, they just talking. So I feel like I done cracked the code. Right? Like that image you got of him with the glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
You see another guy had those same glasses on.
Wow.
And it's almost a distress signal because whenever they do it, they back out of the fights.
Wow.
And they never do it. They never do it against a pillow-fisted guy or some, pure boxer. No, they do it against these big punchers. They put their little duck glasses on, turn into Darkwing Duck, and they do not show up for the next day of work. So,
dang.
Anytime I see a brother that don't wear no damn glasses, put on them Drake glasses again, I promise you I know ahead of time that he's finna duck. I wanted to call it out with Hitchins because I said, this guy want to be Keyshawn. What the fuck? Then he showed his true colors. He really want to be Keyshawn. He backed out the fight. Like crazy.
Dang.
That's all I got on dude, man. That's all the energy I got for him. Put it like that.
That's crazy work, bro.
Number smoke.
That is. But if there was gonna see, it's them glasses, it's them dark rim glasses, the Malcolm X 1950 glasses, bro.
Yeah.
Shit's on, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, man.
Duck season.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
For them to be personality glasses. Just like the joints the government used to give, them, but they had brown. The frame was brown. The government used to issue those, man. But
back in the days in the hood, those type of glasses always had some tape in the middle because somebody done punched them before. You hear me?
Or smack them shits off of you.
You feel me? Yeah, they done smacked them off so many times. They got tape holding the middle of them mother suckers. You feel me? Real.
That's like the Revenge of the Nerds. The Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, I love that. I love that show.
Yeah, he had on his official Clark Kent glasses. He was like, yeah, when I take these off, I'm definitely Superman. But when I got these shits on, I'm
coward.
Clark Kent.
Coward Kent. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
but realistically, I'm waiting. I'm gonna wait. I had to put them on the white charcoals. That's on this side right here. I know y'all know something about grilling. I ain't even going to insult AC, but I know D Calico. You should know about them white charcoals back there. That's why I had them white charcoals because I had to go ahead and in standard fashion. I'll sing your praises, but I'll give the fair share of criticisms. And for where you are, for where Richardson Hitchins is on the board, and what he's trying to do. This didn't do well for him. And if he go on and it goes on without a snafu and he fight this guy Delgado at 40, man, it probably gonna look worse because Delgado just got beat twice. But I don't know. I'm like, this guy must sell some tickets because I don't know how the hell he got them two decisions. I watched both of the fights and he did not win either one of them, and it's not gonna be a good look. So. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to use your IBF. You may wait. Okay, cool. They might They might, you know what I'm saying, depending on how they look at you, let you go ahead and move up and get Crocker, you know. But you know, I would like to hear from them, man. I hate when they go dark and they disappear, and then you got Duarte out here. Duarte been trolling Pitbull. He been trolling Hitchins. I mean, somebody got to go see Duarte. They saying they trying to line something up for him, but like, man, he want that smoke still.
Yeah, he do.
I'm just gonna say it again like this, and this is just one Brooklyn, New Yorker talking to another one, and I'm gonna put it to him as an OG would tell him. Hitchins, if somehow or another the energy of what I'm about to say reaches you, here's the deal, bro. You can say dudes is brothers and they fam and all of that, but you gotta understand, sometimes when you go over a certain family member's house, they will jump you like you a stranger.
Yep.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that when you saying what you gotta say, we understand you playing the politics of whatever, but hopefully this situation is also waking your eyes up, and I'm hoping that's why you're not really saying nothing, because you're just dealing with the emotional fact of like, yo, I really thought these dudes, you know, was rocking with me. Second part to that thing is, you said that you and Keyshawn really don't get along. Keyshawn is the second half of that dynamic duo. If one dude is family, here's the thing. You cool with me, but you and my little bro got beef. The minute you really try to flip on my little brother, I'm gonna fuck you up even though we cool. And that's the part where I'm trying to get him to understand that just because you may feel you family to them, you don't get along with his little brother. And if you violate his little brother, they gonna jump you and they gonna fuck you up. So understand where you really, really at, and understand your real moves moving forward. You have to like really start to separate yourself from them. Don't bring them up. If people want to ask you questions about them, like, no, I can't, I'm not really looking to entertain that. I have to run my own race. I got to make up for the fact that, and just be honest, be like, nah, I got to make up for the fact that whole situation, you know what I'm saying, that I just went through, and, you know, I got to make up for that. The next fight ain't really going to do nothing for me, so please don't ask me no questions about them, because I got to really be focused on my own career at this point.
Mm-hmm. It's all about me.
Yeah. Yeah,
and to me, I got two things. The first one is, to me, man, it was cringy, man, to hear this man, you know, profess his love for Keyshawn, that like all in the building. I'm like, where's this coming from, bro? Like, what did they like? They tell you? I mean, I know they said be neutral, but goddamn, like, you know, it was cringy to me, because I'm like, how can I build a fight and then go back to what this man said? Like, when you got that, even if that fight was to come in, the way he said they want to be so buddy to where it ain't no aggression there, it ain't no, it's just a, you know, I'm like, you know, so now you kind of like, even if they say, all right, look, him and Keyshawn gonna get it on, am I gonna be invested in it? Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't gonna be no aggression. And then, like what AC said, if you do something, like, it's just weird now. And this is why we're trying to say this cancer that's spreading throughout boxing. And I'm like, people didn't realize it. It's like, we didn't want to nip it in the bud. Everybody wanted to pussyfoot around and not offend nobody. And now it's just getting out of control. Now it's like, boxing is like anything goes. But this is the question, y'all. The bigger chess move. I was thinking about this like chess. Is this a bigger chess move? Because AC came out of nowhere and said that somebody got tapped on the shoulder. Right? And then they went on to go get you know, like when it came down to Schofield, he said they got tapped on the shoulder. And at first I was like, I was like, that kind of makes sense. I'm not saying he got tapped on the shoulder. I'm just saying that maybe he didn't want to look like that against Duarte and risk getting knocked out. But in doing that move, they're gonna have to feed him to either the guy up at 147 Crocker or a big fight. I don't know. I don't know if this was because I'm looking at it like, man, I know you. I mean, you might have cleared $1 million. I'm thinking you might have, and I don't care. I'm not pocket watch. I'm just saying, like in general, you probably was gonna get $1 million for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a missed payday, bro. So what would be the plan if this wasn't like for something bigger and better, like money wise or something more lucrative? You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking.
See, he know if he lost, he would have capped out right there at that $1 million. He would have never made another $1 million, like no time soon. You know, and he play. You know, he got dreams of making $10 million a fight. You know, but that's only because people think it's easy to be Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Like my boy Bill say, do the Devin Haney, do the Devin Haney. Right? People not jumping up weight divisions and challenging their self, let alone challenging the best in the division. You know, like all of a sudden nobody respects Regis Prograis, but he was more than just a viable opponent when Haney fought him. This guy had bodies on his record. This guy had a 95% knockout ratio at that point. A real killer. Even the fight he lost, you know, his opponent's face looked like minced meat. So this guy was a threat, especially for somebody they say don't have a chin, don't have no power to keep him off him, and all of that. Come on, man. You know, that's why Hitchins never wanted none, because he fits that bill a little better. He has no power. You know, like he don't have a chin. God dang it, he would have been food for Regis Prograis, and they've been in the same division for a long time. I'm sure now he's not scared of him, but I'm pretty sure he was. He's scared of Duarte. You can't tell me he wasn't scared of goddamn Regis Prograis 4 years ago.
Yeah, nobody was calling his name. That's what people forget. I think his punch resistance here lately has gone down. I don't know how his outside of the gym life is, but like, yeah, a couple years ago, it was hard for him. It was hard. It was hard for Reese. It was one of my guys. He's the crippler in my boxers to watch. He's in the intro too. It was hard for him to get a fight because nobody really wanted to see. He was awkward and he had power and he was southpaw, but you know, I don't know.
Man, I feel like he had the most power at 140. Like he possessed one punch, knockout power at one point.
At one point, yeah, he did.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to come in.
Hey, salute, panel, salute, Bodywork, salute, AC, DeCarico.
Let me just stop this real quick before you cook that, because Body just said this thing about maybe there was a tap on the shoulder, right?
Or a bigger chest move, yeah, either, yeah.
Or a chest move, right? So let's look at this. Remember after the fight, I went to the rankings and I was like, it don't look like they changed. We got to see if they updating it or whatever. I'm on Boxing Scene and I was like, yeah. The only thing that I seen different was Keyshawn is ranked pretty much across the board, right? He's still sitting at the number one spot for Shakur Stevenson, right? Delgado is what took me as strange was Delgado was sitting at the number one spot for Hitchins, and Duarte was moved down to number 3. Why wouldn't Duarte stay at number 1 if the fight was called off? No fault to your own. Guess who's right up under Duarte sitting at number 4? Mr. Keyshawn. So doesn't it seem like you get rid of a problem, you get rid of an issue, if you just say, okay, Keyshawn, you're going to fight Delgado or Duarte for the IBF belt.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? That removes you from the WBO. That look of where everybody's gonna be talking about this mandatory. Who's gonna pull that trigger? Are we gonna get this fight? Blah 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 blah. And it just doesn't leave any room for anything weird. Immediately after that, I think Keyshawn then goes after Dalton Smith. Shakur's gonna want to get his Isaac Cruz or whoever, whatever, but that's how it's kind of looking to me. If I'm trying to look at the rankings and see if there's a play going on based on the way the rankings got people moving. I'm almost positive that we might get an Andy versus Gary rematch because Andy's still at number 1.
See, I want to probably see Andy and Pollo because I'm on records.
But I mean, and Dev, you can have it right here. I think I think like in April, I think Pollo is going over to see Andy Dalton if that goes through in Liverpool. That's what Eddie said. So it might be Alberto Pollo versus Dalton Smith in Liverpool before a unification. So he got to get that out the way because remember, Pollo was sitting on the sidelines because of Sabril Martinez and that whole ordeal. Dev, man, what's on your mind, man? Salute.
Hey, salute, man. Y'all been cooking on this. I just have a question. Is this possible for Hitchison to move up and get into the WBO? Because I think a good fight for him would be him versus Brian Norman Jr.
Yes, sir.
And I think that'll set up a fight with Haney, right? The rematch with Brian or, the Haney versus Hitchison because them can't be talking from some videos I've seen. So is that a possibility? We get him and Norman?
Yeah, but I don't think Brian would be right back in line for Haney. Like maybe as far as the rankings goes, but I don't think that would be wise to go right back into a rematch that quick.
No, I'm saying Hitchison and Norman.
You want Hitchins and Brian Norman.
Yeah, I'm saying, but if Brian Norman wins, that he shouldn't go right into a Haney rematch, is what I'm saying.
So Brian Norman for Devin Haney is ranked number 4. He's number 4 for the WBO. Brian Norman is for the WBC is ranked number 8. You feel me? For the WBA, I don't see him at all, but he is ranked in the IBF. He's ranked number 9 for the IBF for Lewis Crocker fight. So where Hitchins is at, with the talking points behind him, all the negative energy behind him, I don't know if they'll let him switch over. Now, here's the only other thing. I don't know how many title defenses he has under the IBF. Whereas, he
just one.
Oh, just one. Damn.
He got it from Liam Paro and defended it against Cambosos. That's all he had.
Yeah, so he's not going up there with a lot of action, a lot of momentum. Like his momentum was just completely shut down. So, man, I don't know. I really don't know for him. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a Polanco come out. I don't know.
Man, I don't think he can do nothing at 147.
Maybe
if he does,
go after Harlem Eubank.
He got to prove himself against the likes of Jack Catterall. I don't think he would fight a Tiger Johnson. Like Rohan Polanco or Brian Norman Jr. He's not gonna fight none of them. He talk all that shit. But I ain't never seen him in the ring with a black fighter. You know.
What about Karen, the guy who fought Boots? I know he's in the IBF.
Man, Karen might get on his ass.
Karen is there. Karen is there for the WBO. And
Karen fought Boots twice, and the second time he stepped the Boots.
Put in 24 rounds with him.
Man, he'll get on motherfucking Hitchins' ass, bro. He might go in his bag, man.
But at the end of the day, if he gonna go up to 47, you know, him versus Tiger, him versus Karan.
He ain't fighting a black fighter.
Polanco may be. Let me see something real quick. Oh, he got 17 fights, so. I don't know. I think he needs. I really believe he needs a solid name if he's going up to 4 to 4.
Hey, but let me. So let me ask y'all something. Do y'all think? So it's definite. Y'all think he definitely moving up to 47, or is he gonna take care of this mandatory?
He gonna go to 47, and he still ain't gonna get no fight this year. Watch.
I think he should go up to. The problem is, if you fuck around and fight, the mandatory fight is a catch-22 because the general public and what's the name is gonna come out of his face. Duarte is gonna come out his face and say, "Oh, you can make a fight and actually get in the ring with a Delgado, but you couldn't do it with me." And it's on a perception level, it's a legit question because if we're in a perception of reality type era, then it's not a good look. It's just not a good look. All right, you didn't do this fight, but now you're gonna face your mandatory, who would be considered lesser competition, and then you're gonna go through with that fight. So
I think he trapped AC. But can you tell me?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Who's the top 10 in the WBO at 147? Who's in the top 10?
At 147, Jack Catterall, Ron Kukachin, Manny Pacquiao, Brian Norman Jr., Liam Paro, Rohan Polanco, Tiger Johnson, David Pappett, Giasov, and Klasakio. If I'm saying his name right, that's the top 10 right there. If we talk about the top 10 in the IBF, the number 1 position is missing. Liam Paro, Patty, Ricardo Salas, Rodriguez, Karan Kukachin, Raul Kuru, Connor Ben, Jack Catterall, Brian Norman, Vidim, Musi.
Yeah, he trapped. He trapped. So it's gonna have to be a name or somebody with some kind of punch. So it gotta be dangerous. Like it gotta when they announce the matchup, it gotta be dangerous. Because if you go back and do that, that Delgado thing, he gonna beat the shit out of Delgado. But people are not gonna be happy about that. No, then he's gonna have to go to 47.
Yeah, and for me, it's like Tiger Johnson, Karan Kukachin.
Yeah, Karen Chickazant.
He might have to do. Yeah, he might have to do Karen. That's what I was, because I don't think he's gonna fight Tiger.
Nah, me neither.
You know, and I'm just being real. I just his stock, man. He couldn't afford. Yeah, he couldn't afford to do that, man. I'm like, and this is why I'm playing politics. See, if you're gonna play politics, and there's some people out here that do it very well, they make it work excellent for them. Them politics ain't working for Richardson Hitchins. And with this right here, you can't defend it. Your mans didn't even throw, like AC said, your man didn't even throw you a real bone. Like, so you up against it. I think he trapped. What you got, Dev? Did you have anything else, Dev?
Yeah. Nah, I think, man, can he get into the WBO somehow? Because there's a lot of big fights there already. And then also the WBO at 140, Keyshawn talks about moving up. Tiafimo's talking about moving up. We don't know what Shakur's going to do. So I think his best bet is to try and get into the WBO. Brian Norman, Pacquiao. Looking at the rankings right now, there's some good fights there. Good money fights there, but I just don't know
Where they got
how that'll work.
Where they got T.O. at, AC? Is he at 40 or 47? Because they said he was going to 47. Is he ranked anywhere at 47?
No.
Nah, he's just ranked at 40.
Yeah.
But that'll be a good fight too, because I heard about, like you said, he might be able to move up and fight T.O.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He might get away with being able to do that.
Yeah,
but
him and T.O. move up, and they both face each other. Yeah, you could get away with that. You know what I'm saying? But the Shakurians out there gonna shit on him because they're gonna say, yeah, T.O. just got masterclassed, and now you want to fight him. But then he could come back and be like, no, but that fight was supposed to be mine in the first place, so watch your mouth. That fight was taken from me because Turk said he ain't want to do business with T.O.
Yeah, man. He's up against it. I think all of them guys, I mean, except for Shakur, who could do whatever they want, because I'm looking at Devin Haney and what he got going on. Because I'm like, as an A side, where's the action? Like, when I look at Boots, when I look at Devin, even Keyshawn, I'm like, what are y'all doing, man? Y'all all A sides. Like, Tank is away, so he's off the table. Like, all of y'all supposed to be sending off. Like, shoot, somebody sent Shakur off. They said he was being disrespectful. So I'm like, what are these guys doing? What are all these A sides doing?
Hanging out. Because at the end of the day, Dev, being the A side that he is, he could easily snatch Lewis Crocker. Him and Rolly, ain't nobody gonna have no issues with a unification with Devin and any of the current champs.
But nobody want to fight Rolly either. It's like, yeah. I mean, I heard Devin say he wanted them. I don't know what happened. I think Rolly said, but that's how don't nobody want to see Rolly. I'm like, well, like, why Brian Norman don't fight Rolly, or Rolly and either Rolly and Keyshawn, or Brian Norman and Rolly, or Brian Norman and Keyshawn? Like, I'll take any one of them.
Yeah,
nobody want to fight Rolly.
The crazy thing is, like I just said, Brian Norman is not ranked with the WBA at all. He's not ranked in that sanctioning body at all. So he's ranked with WBC, WBO, and IBF. And here's the crazy part. I've never seen this before. The WBC has the 4th spot vacant.
The 4th spot?
Yeah, the 4th spot. Like, what the fuck is that about?
My question is, how is Manny Pacquiao ranked top 3 in both WBC and WBO?
Yeah, they got.
Yeah,
that's some crazy shit.
They gotta stop that, man. They gotta stop that, man. I was so surprised that Devin Haney fans actually wanted him and Pacquiao. Oh, that's a good fight. What? Who would turn down? Like, man, like, all right, if you want to be sassy and soft and strategic, then I guess okay. I mean, but it's all about the money bag and this and this. So let me ask y'all something else, so we'll move on a little bit, and catch up a little bit. What's your opinion on the Ryan saying he's gonna go down to 40 now, so he can unstrap Shakur? He gonna make the weight and go down to 40, and Shakur just saying, well, as long as you getting tested, you speaking my language, basically. What do y'all think about that?
Man, I think I wrote in the chat on your last live about Shakur and him wanting to challenge Ryan at a catch weight. Even if Ryan comes down to fight him, if I'm Shakur, I don't take that fight. I'd beat Ryan at his weight. That's what he's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to be fighting him at his weight. and I put that in the chat.
Mhm.
Can somebody name me another 2-time lineal champion in the history of the sport that wins a belt? He challenges the next guy at the next weight for his belt at a catch weight. Those champions, they move up and they fight the champion at the correct weight. His buddy Andre Ward, Floyd, Terrence, Clarissa. I've never seen any of them ask the next opponent to come down at a catch weight, the next champion. So, and 147 to me is probably his correct weight anyway.
Yeah, he said he keeps saying here 135, bro. I don't know. You know, I'm burnt out from it. You know, I'm like, man, you about to mess up a whole nother division, man. Ryan finally established himself, and he could slip on a banana peel trying to be, a chess piece maybe, because it makes no sense. Like, the two biggest fights are to your left and your right. A rematch with Devin, that's stuff. You talking about big money legacy, because you know it's gonna be a third one. You can damn near say whatever the outcome of this is, it's gonna be a third one. It might not be right away, but it's gonna be a third one, or you'll get back with Rolly. Those are way better fights than a circus fight with Shakur right now. Shakur got business at 140. But I'm like, where's the pressure for Shakur at 140? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's the pressure? It ain't nothing. It's like it ain't nothing. Now, so right now, Dalton Smith, he might be occupied with Alberto Puello in April. Richard Hitchins, he might be moving up. What's the only option left that makes all the sense in the world? Coming off the momentum. You got momentum, Shakur, for beating T.O., who was the most tenured. Gary, the most dangerous. I think you can probably claim you get past Gary, or you unstrap him and unify. I think then you could have more stake of a claim, like, okay, well, yeah, he's definitely the man in the division, because he took out the dangerous, and then you just gotta play cleanup. Like, but there's no pressure. There's like, I'm all these boxing fans, all these boxing heads, all these people that's, I love boxing, sweet science. Nobody's talking about this.
Yeah, so for me, I look at it the same way. Like, listen, if everything's said and done, you know what I'm saying? I could see Hitchins moving out of 140. I could see Keyshawn going for that IBF, and I could see Shakur getting a fight with Gary Antoine Russell. All of those moves would make sense, and then it would say, okay, now you're starting to move like Bud. And if you gonna take out T.O., and then you gonna look at Gary Russell. So I mean, if you're gonna take out him and then look at Gary Russell, you know
what's funny though, AC? When I was looking at knowing Shakur and how strategic he is and what he said in response to Gary, these weren't the only people that kind of came to Gary's defense. And then I hear how gracious Gary was after. I'm like, man, y'all cordial as a motherfucker. I mean, I understand like respect, but I'm like, man, don't hold our breath on that one either, man.
Yeah.
Hey, that surprised me when he said that after the fight. I was expecting him to call out Shakur for unification, congratulate him on his performance, and and make sure that they see each other next. He said, I'm gonna give him the respect and I'm not gonna call him out. I'm like, what kind of shit?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I have to go back to what Gary said prior to the fight. I forgot who he was talking to. He was like, I would love to take out Shakur, but he's not going to fight me. He's not going to fight me now. So Gary knows to a certain degree that him and Shakur getting in the ring now is not an option. But the way the landscape is moving right now, because it's forever changing, that's the fight that makes the most sense for actually both of them in this unification type situation. Because right now, Hitchins is either going to face his Mando or move up, so that you're not unifying with him. Frank Martin is probably figuring out when and where they can get this rematch with Albright. Dalton Smith, he's got a Puello fight. Shakur Stevenson, you ain't got nothing happening. Gary ain't really got nothing happening. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not hearing Andy's team or anyone really pressing for the rematch right now. Even though he's ranked at number 1, no one's talking about the rematch of that. So it makes the most sense that, yeah, you said earlier, but reality is dictating something completely different. Your wish list ain't matching what reality is telling you. This what needs to happen. And at the end of the day, if we talking about big fights and Shakur, defending his new lineal title, defending that WBO in the unification, Gary, defending his belt in his second title defense or whatever, then at the end of the day, man, this is a great fight. And this is why 140 is the way it is. We can't have a 140 division whereas guys start making excuses of why they can't mix it up. That's the problem that happened with Hitchins. Because people were saying you were avoiding the Sabril Matias smoke. So you lost credibility in that situation. Now we got 2 fighters that could definitely get it in. And if ain't nobody making any moves towards each other or really like talking in a way that I'm not trying to have a glorified sparring match with you. I'm going in there to beat your ass and take your strap type energy. Then, it is what it is. I think Mr. Gary Russell may have something different to say once he gets in his brother's ear and starts really talking to him. So let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Let's even stretch it out to the next 30 days. If we hear some rumblings of those 2 guys getting it in and things like that.
Well, he do got 30 days with the Delgado thing, and it is his career, his belt. He know if they pop that off, because he is a skilled boxer. He is an elite boxer. I mean, he popped that off. It's going to be tough fight after tough fight without no world, because they're going to probably play keep away because he's already semi-blackballed. But let me
I was talking about Gary versus Shakur. I was meaning that.
Oh, yeah. This is what I'm getting to right now. He's saying Aaron Jones said he already told y'all he don't think Shakur will fight him. Why clout chase? I respect Gary Antoine Russell. Don't play that clown ass game the other boxers been doing. It don't work. Now I understand that, but look, this is the thing. The only thing is Hitchin got issues. So it's 30 days, and then it's either Lindolfo Delgado or he's out of the division, and that belt gets fought for. So that belt is out. And he's saying his goal is to unify all of them. He want to be undisputed. Dalton Smith probably got Alberto Puello in April. So you're looking at the end of the year, like you looking at a September, October. I don't know if you want to wait that long. I think you would like to stay active, get another bag, and do something. So it ain't no telling what Dalton gonna do if he, because he might not win that. Then it'll change hands. And so we'll be looking at, Alberto Puello got to have his one-off freak show fight or whatever he gonna do to defend. So that's out. It only leaves Shakur. There. So it's not a level, it's not, to me, it's not like, oh yeah, I gotta just come out and be disrespectful to Shakur. It's like, no, we gotta stay doggy. It's like, listen, bro, I gotta go. I know I said you last, but look, it looked like Dalton get ready to handle Puello. We don't know what's going on with Hitchins. Hey, we gotta get this, man. Like, the night is young, and tomorrow ain't promising nobody. So that would just be my mentality. And Aaron says, think about it, y'all. The media is pushing Shakur, can't get hit. Who can beat Shakur? They're going to match him, make him play in the center. Yeah. They're going to keep him against, because somebody like Gary, he can crank up the volume if he needs to, and he will crank up the volume. Between that pressure and that volume, that's why I say I don't know how he don't get hit if Oscar Valdez hit him to the body. It's not easy to hit somebody to the body. It's easier to hit somebody in the head than it is to the body, because if you don't go to the body the right way, especially with somebody like cat-like reflexes, that got, and that's accurate with their counter punches. If Valdez got to his body, if Williams Zepeda, who's a high volume, like highly inaccurate guy, just high volume, he gonna pull out the joint and just spray everything. He gonna hit something. You know what I'm saying? That's how he go. But I've seen Shakur get
Body.
hit.
There was go ahead. My bad.
I'm sorry. No, I'm laying right here. I've seen Shakur get hit by everybody that was in the ring with him. Even Teofimo hit him. Was he inspired? Did he fight right? Forget all that. Teo still hit him. If it's a guy in there that want to hit Shakur and touch Shakur, De Los Santos hit him and hit him to the body way more than people give him credit for. But that's all I had there. What you had?
Yeah, man. With the Shakur and Gary, I was just gonna bring this point up real quick. There's a clip of them actually sparring. It's just like a 15-20 second clip, but you can kind of see how that fight will play out. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I think I've seen him. I seen it, but I don't. It's been so much time that went by. It's like I don't put too much stock in it. Like really, I mean, because I don't. As
far as maybe Gary, like you said, with that pressure and that output, forcing Shakur to fight in spaces for majority of the fight. Like, no, you're gonna fight here. Now Shakur's skilled enough to do it, like you saw clips in the video, but just as far as the styles go, right? Because I do believe Gary has the skills to sort of push Shakur and back him up and make Shakur fight on the back foot probably most of that fight, right? And not letting him get comfortable. Yeah, what do you guys think about the matchup given the Hiroko fight, right? I think that's a good fight. I think Shakur he's less dangerous than Hiroko, if you ask me.
He definitely is. It's going to look a lot like what happened with El Rayo, except for two things. El Rayo got more power than Shakur, and Shakur won't get touched as much as El Rayo did. It's going to look about the same. Like he's going to have to. Because listen, this is the same thing. This is what I noticed about Keyshawn. This is a sidebar, but I'm gonna tie it in. He already knows you can't get these guys space, time, and distance. And I'm starting to see that about Keyshawn too. See, Keyshawn will pick you apart if you give him space, time, and difference. Shakur would definitely, you give him space, time, and difference, you're not going to win. And distance, you're not going to win. Gary Antoine's not going to give him space, time, or distance. He's not going to let him get no rhythm. He's not going to let him sit back and do whatever. He's going to be on his ass all night. And he's going to make him make mistakes and make him use his legs and make him move. And it's going to look like, and he's not going to get credit for those rounds because he's going to be evading, but then he has to exchange. And when he exchanges, he just showed that he can go in there with sustained pressure, but maintain his balance. That was like the most impressive thing because Gary, he'll lean in, like he fixed his windshield wipers. That shit that him and T.O. be doing when they get in and they kind of lean in over their feet. If you can time him, he fixed that. I think this was like a developmental fight to where it's like, man, so it's going to be like a breath of fresh air trying to get in on somebody who ain't that tall and ain't that long like Shakur. I mean, yeah, he got cat-like reflexes, but Gary's going to put pressure. He's going to put him in a pressure cooker. He's not going to let him just sit back, pick him apart.
He's going to make Shakur throw his hands, and I just haven't seen enough of that. Shakur is so comfortable in the ring. Hell, he beat T.O. with a jab and like foot placement, like basic shit. I haven't seen Shakur have to let his hands go like that. The cat-like reflexes you mentioned, that with the offense. He might have it in the bag, but I mean, I think that's a great matchup for both fighters.
I can't assume it, and this is why. This is a whole different division. It's just like we just seen this with Devin going up against Ryan, all things considered, and then Ryan going up against Rolly. You know what I'm saying? But at 140, this is a different division. You got to think. Richardson Hitchins been there. He's been fighting guys that were shrinking down or people that they didn't go down and shrink down. Like Gary has been stopping everybody at 140. He's used to getting hit He's used to having a tall. He's always had the physical, like being like not always, but like for the most part, he's gonna be the shorter guy, and he got some of the shortest arms out there. So, but he's been in that division for years. Like, yeah, he came up and Shakur, and I'm not taking away from him, but these are facts. He came up and he's been bigger than T.O. for 2 years, and according to his own words. And then you can see it on film. He's been bigger than him for 2 years. He has the height and the reach. So it's like, yeah, you beat him. And you know the style of him, like T.O., he's not a technical boxer. He's a boxer puncher. A boxer counter puncher. Actually, meaning that he thrives when you come bring him the pressure so he can make you miss and then make you pay with double impact. Shakur, like, so that's a match. Like, that was a hand pick. Like, he know what was going on in sparring. He probably got all these spies and know that T.O. ain't fixed none of that. He like, all right, cool. And then he seen what Jermaine did to him. Gary Antoine has been in that division. He's been there longer than T.O. He's been there, like him and Richardson, Hitchins, they've been in the division the longest because that's where they started. They didn't come in and shrink down or come, go from welterweight down there. Like, no, they've been there fighting all those different styles that whole time. And Gary's been stopping everybody. So I don't buy into the hyperbole of Shakur. I understand. I don't even speak against it because I don't want people like, oh, here we go, hate. I'm not hating. I'm speaking facts. Shakur just got there. He fought one guy. Now he want to move around. That tells you everything. If everybody was food, he would be cleaning his plate right now. He would be going down the menu like, oh, yeah, I think I want some Gary Antoine. Yeah, give me some Gary Antoine right now, hot on the rocks. I'm calling the shots. He ain't doing that because everybody at 40 ain't food. We seen that with Nair Albright and the Ghost. We seen that with Pitbull and Roach. Like, we seen how many times them belts didn't just change hands. I've been covering the road. How many times them belts change hands, bro? The 140 ain't nothing to play with. That's why people be moving. That's why I say, man, I'm recording this shit in real time. Niggas get up there to 40 and start moving funny, man. They start saying, ooh, I think this... No, I gotta get my sandals. I can't walk across there. They start playing hopscotch at 40, bro. It's a reason why he want a freak show. He don't want to go through the gauntlet. Make your run and start picking names. He don't want to do that.
Man, that's crazy, man, because Shakur was a guy at the lower weights. I honestly did feel at some point like, damn, don't nobody want to fight him. And he finally has the cards to basically pick his fight, like you said. And I'm hearing Ryan Garcia and Conor Ben. None of the names we talking about.
But okay, so let me address that one point you said. I was advocating for Shakur at the time, and I was actually out like same way I did Boots. Boots went through a phase where I think like 16 fighters said no. I'm like, damn, well, who do you fight? However, the same thing with Shakur. He went through a string of people where like 5 people said no. I remember Pitbull said no. Who else said no? Cambosa said no. Loma, he was like, nah. Frank Martin, he signed, and then when he actually really figured out the numbers, he pulled out of that fight and went and got a tank bag. I remember those times, but this is the other side of that. This is the like AC be saying, the devil. It's the devil in the details of that. At the time when he was making those offers, one, we don't know if these were offers like Eddie Hearn, like them Eddie Hearn offers, where he's notorious for lowballing people. Ask Charles Conwell, ask Brian Norman, like playing the tricky, like playing the politics and people not knowing the rules and using social media to do your bidding. He's been doing that, but this is what I can say about those offers. Frank said when he saw the offer, he's like, man, he could have put a little extra and I'm like, listen, you had already signed. Your people must have said green light on the numbers. That's the only reason why I say I gotta call that a duck, Frank, because your management took and accepted that, and that was a title shot. So like, that was a title shot. Like, because you said so. Frank had said something about when Shakur and the Devin thing didn't happen, and he took the stance of Devin saying he should have took the 25%. There was never no 25%, but let's just roll with people running with that. That's what Frank said. So he get in the position where he feel like he ain't got no money and he pulled out. I parking lotted that. When I started looking at everything else, Pitbull was looking at a bigger fight, like a rematch with Tank or some bigger name, somebody that that time was gonna be like a big fight, like a dance partner. Like Shakur wasn't that. Shakur, like, it's almost like, okay, the TO would be like almost like he didn't perform like Bud did against Spence, but that's like his launch pad. So the next move he do and then the next move he do is gonna dictate where his true trajectory is. He just landed here, but he wasn't the bag. He's still not the bag. Like, he's not the bag. So it's like you got to take in consideration the business side of why these people were saying no. Me as a fan, it's like, hey, look, I want to see the fight. I don't give a fuck. But then to understand, okay, but why didn't we get these fights? Was it just to make Shakur look like, you know, everybody's ducking him, or are they giving enough money? Like, it's the same thing Mikey said when he didn't want to fight Bud. He said he was going to run around. Pitbull Cruz pretty much said the same thing about Shakur. His fans didn't. Pitbull Cruz fans didn't smack him around because they think like Mailer's are, where they just want to see action. At the time, Shakur wasn't action. He was win, baby, win by any means, and he wasn't really the bag. He's still not the bag. Now he just got all of the. It ain't nobody really. Only old Shocky's the only one really saying, all right, I want that smoke. I mean, him and Ryan got their thing, but like, think about it from the business aspect. What you got, AJ?
What's up, y'all?
What's happening? Salute, bro.
You basically beat me to it. I was ready to say, I don't think it's the fact that ain't nobody want to fight him. I just think, like, you know, it's stuff behind the scenes that we just don't know about, bro. Like, I could honestly say that, look at him now, bro. Like, I don't want to hear nobody ain't want to fight him. Like, not that you did, but I'm just saying, like, everybody want to fight him now. Or they will fight him. So you gotta, you know, like, this boxing stuff, bro, like, if you're not on your P's and Q's and if you're not, like, really paying attention, they can really spin you. These promoters and whoever, media, that's what they get paid to do. That's what I believe. They try to spin you because whenever a fighter can't sell on their own, they got to put out all types of propaganda. Like, say what you want, but look at Devin Haney, bro. Like, he got to go along with it, but the stuff his father say to people, that lets you know, like, they really be they out here trying to spin everybody, bro. Like, it ain't like, okay, we get in a ring, this, that, and the third. No, everybody trying to get to where Shakur is at now. So they want to fight him. Like, I think Pitbull will fight him now. I think Gary Russell will fight him now. I think Frank will fight him now. I think everybody will fight him now. Why? Because everybody looking at him like the, like the bag, like Bodywork said, man. But I don't want to keep talking about Shakur because it's like, bro, like this. I was just let him. He on that diva tour, man. And you see him now, like he's living. He wanna be Bud, but like, bro, you ain't do what he did yet. Like, Bud can go on interviews and podcasts and streams and all that. Cause he can sit back. He's like, what, 36, something like that. He's good, bro. You still got work to do. Me, I would prefer him to clean out that division 140, cause people are looking at him like that's his division. People not dumb. They gonna be like, dang, you just at 140, man. You at 144 versus Ryan. Didn't Ryan win the belt at 147? Like, bro, it's like, if they want to really run that shit up, bro, like that 140, that's the shit right now, if you ask me. And, well, 140 would be 147, which is like basically 147.
So let me ask you this question real quick then, AJ.
Well,
so does the fight between him and Gary Antoine make the most sense right now when you look at the landscape?
The only reason I say it do is because, okay, I understand Gary say I want this, I want that, I want that. But the only reason I say it do right now is because first of all, he just fought. Everybody just saying Gary Russell just go through hell and whatever. He did. And I believe that with Shakur, they're going to say, well, nobody can beat, nobody can touch Gary. I mean, nobody can touch Shakur. Nobody can beat him. Why not put Gary Antoine Russell in there and make a fight? You feel me? Like for the ages, man. That's like one of them side quests that the old boxers used to go on. Like, okay, y'all ain't never heard of Gary Russell? All right, put him on a mat, like on a bone or something, bro. Like, man, if you could beat him, beat him. Like, I ain't gonna force him to say it, but like,
it's also a unification fight. So
yeah, it's unification, bro. And like, I think he deserves. I think Gary Antoine Russell deserves it, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Put it like this. I know Frank Martin had that ugly 10th round where he got hurt. But I feel like Gary Russell took more of an ass whooping than Frank Martin did.
That's what I'm saying. He was getting hit with them. I was like, like,
yeah, I was feeling the pain.
I'm not lying, bro. When he was getting hit with them body shots, you could see. That's why I think he was getting hit with them low blows, because he was trying to back up. It was like, like trying to brace it, and he got long arms. So, but I seen him body shots, bro. He ain't like them body shots.
So this is what I'm saying. So compared to the level of power, the size, and everything else, wouldn't this be the type of fight that, at least for Gary Antoine, he would love to go into, because that threat of the heavy puncher, having something come back that may end your night early, you just dealing with defense. It's like,
that's what I'm saying, bro. He said it. I don't think he'll fight him, bro, because Shakur not looking for those type of fights. It's gonna make him look. I don't think Shakur wanna look bad. Like, remember the fights I was talking about last time, the Delos Santos and the other guy, I think the African dude, when he wasn't engaging at all. Yeah, not to say it. Like, he don't want to look bad in front of everybody, which is crazy. Even like, I know it's like they just playing around, but on the comments when he was playing around with those streamers and fake boxing, they was even saying in the comments like, "Damn, he don't even want to get hit by a streamer." Like, he is a little timid. Like, he don't want to look bad out there, bro. But that's boxing, and you got his man's Bud. Bud is not that type of fighter at all. He knocked you out and all that. But you got him out here trying to, pacify everybody. Like, yeah.
But you talking, but AJ, you talking to that point that I made earlier in my Devil in the Details rant, when I was talking about, if you say only the great fighters, the guys who are destined to be great, have that level of craziness in them, then you taking on Gary Antoine Russell is a certain level of craziness on both of y'all, because for Gary Antoine, the perception is, damn, you just come out of a really tough fight with Andy Hirioka. You feel what I'm saying? Shakur said it was a master class. You feel what I'm saying? He gave you a credit and said, no, he didn't see it that way. He saw a masterclass. So wouldn't it make sense? If you gonna say you crazy, they gonna say Gary crazy. You two crazy motherfuckers meet in the ring, and boom, boom, boom. There we go. Now we finding out who can really take over and be the next undisputed champion at 140 without it having to come down to a tournament.
Yeah, I agree, man. Because if you think about it, that fight right there, that is you gotta be crazy if you're Shakur, because you risking everything you trying to build right now. You feel me? Like, all right, I'm trying to go for the big lucrative fights and all that. But if you think about it, like, Bud had to get his head rocked by Gamboa. He had to get clocked by
Mean Machine.
Mean Machine. You feel me? He had to get lumped up a little bit by
Madrimal.
Madrimal. He got to get a little pricked up by the old Kell Brook. He had to
Yeah,
go through
Sean
something, bro.
Porter.
If you like him or not, like he had to go through a little
But
something. He ain't
that's
just
why.
jump.
But that's why what I was saying was somewhat being facetious in saying
Right.
that it's not crazy. That's not a crazy move. That's what you're saying. You want everybody to really understand that your level's above everybody. So
That's what he
you
said.
tell me Gary Antoine ain't everybody?
That's what Shakur said. He says he's loved. I don't think none of these guys can beat me, but I'm not gonna fight Oshaki because I'm gonna do something outside the ring. That's what he said, bro. He said that. He said, and everybody's saying that. They saying, like I said in the comments, nobody can hit him. Oh yeah, Max Kellerman, he gets paid, man. I ain't gonna lie, he gets paid. He getting that bag, bro. Nobody can hit you, Shakur. You already know that nobody can hit you. We already know that you're the best. I think you're the best. Yeah, you're the best out of everybody. Bro, why y'all going for Ryan then? Like,
bro,
I don't know how it's gonna look, but
Exactly. So if
Bro.
you're best, you clear out a division. The only division you came close to ever clearing out in your entire career is when you was at 130 and you became a unified champion. Since then, we haven't seen that type of energy from you.
Hey, Shakur does not, like, put it like this. It's only boxing, and he don't got the best left hand. He don't got the best right hand. The motherfucker don't got the fastest feet. He don't got the fastest hands. Like, we know he don't got the power. So what the hell make him the best? What is they thinking about? He's not even, his defense ain't really what they trying to say it is. Like, this dude don't bend his knees one time in a damn fight. You feel me?
It's the accolade game, man. It's the accolade game, and you have the machine behind you. We can't question the machine because the machine's voice is bigger than everybody on this panel times 100. Like, so at the end of the day, we can only spotlight it and constantly ask the question, like, yo, if this is what you're saying, and I'm only quoting what you said and using your own words to give you the analogy of what you're doing, what you're not doing. And that analogy shows me more of what you're not doing than what you actually are doing. Because my eyes can see clearly what you're doing because you say, and my ears, because you say things like, yeah, I want to fight that guy, but I want to do it at a catch weight. I want to fight that guy, but I want a rehydration clause. No, I don't want to fight that guy because he was disrespectful. So when I hear things like that and then match it to what you said about only the crazy will go down in history as the best, then where you at, bro? Where's your 730 card?
Well, look. This is the way I see it, man. And we could transition to whatever else as we start to wrap it up, man. But the way I see it is certain people that they win when they pick their opponents. So for me, whenever I hear somebody like him, for example, he's got to the point now to where whenever I hear him call out whoever it is, then I'll judge what it was. Now, T.O. made perfect sense. He was the most credentialed. That was the best belt on the wall. That's like Bud going up to 68 and getting Canelo. He was the most credentialed. He made the most sense. Are there other people at 168 that present more danger that probably, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. This is why I don't think people caught it when I said it's a reason why he going up there for T.O. And it was like, yeah, I'm not gonna just take up on T.O. because of the things he said out of his mouth. I can't take away from him that he's the most credentialed. So it was the reason why. But he already had sparring. He know he had the height. He know he had the reach. He know that T.O. is not technically sound. He had a blueprint as to seeing the losses. When he picks the opponent, so obviously he sees something in Ryan, especially if he can say, listen, I could bring him down to 47 where I know he struggled. He could say whatever. But Ryan just got another big bag. It's going to be more pressure. You know, it's like you don't know if Ryan going to be able to make the 140, but you know that if you can put him at that disadvantage or even bring him down 3 pounds, then you feel like, all right, I got the leverage in that. And, you know, and I already know if Rolly can outbox Ryan, this is what I always say. People don't catch this either. Rolly outboxed Ryan. Yes, he had a bad night, but he outboxed him. You are a boxer. You're thinking that, okay, I'm probably going to be able to outbox Ryan. Ryan can change it because he do got speed. You know what I'm saying? He got power. He can. But, like, when he picks his opponent is when he wins. It's not going to be until I see him pick a guy that can do the things. Because remember, I was the same one that said, if you want to see T.O. punish, I mean, you don't send Shakur to go do it. You might go send a Boots go do it. You might go send a Gary Antoine to go do it. Even Sabril, before we saw his punch resistance gone, we might send him in there to go punish T.O. But he knew when he picked T.O. what he could do. He knowing that he looking at Ryan, what he can do to Ryan. And he gonna play the mind game. Ryan, he gonna put all that pressure with having all the media, Bud, Tim, who else? Andre Ward, Jay Prince, Eddie, Chief, you know, Matt. Yeah, like everybody, like Cam and Mace, Gillian Watt, everybody gonna be saying, oh yeah, Shakur, he's the best fighter in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Ryan's gonna be up against that. So for me, I'm off of him, man, because he's not until I see him fight somebody, man, that can actually pose a formidable threat. I'm not gonna put too much stock in who we fight. You know, it's just where we at in boxing.
So just to transition into something that was in the housekeeping that we didn't get their opinions on. What you guys think of Wardley versus Dubois?
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a good fight. It's a good fight.
It's a lot. I just seen something about that. It's a lot of. But y'all go ahead and comment. But like, he got a lot of controversy around Turkey and the ring putting out propaganda. You know, they only say something when it's certain fighters, but could have sworn the ring was posting Tank on a run, and they only say something when it's certain fighters though. But now everybody's saying that the ring is not credible and all that because of that fight that's coming up. Talking about the ticket sales ain't they going low and all that. I'm like, man, y'all pretty good, man. Like, what is so wrong that other promoters can't have big fights? Why the ring and it's like, well, boxing is crazy right now, bro. Like, damn, they can't have a good fight unless it's sold Turkey.
Hey, that Wardley versus Dubois is mid. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's mid. But I mean, we all gonna enjoy it because they don't have no skills. Like, it's not gonna be no skills in the ring when those two get in there. It's gonna be rock'em sock'em robots, and it just sucks. Like Wardley gonna win because he's tougher. But I don't know. I don't even know. Like, if he don't got enough skills, he could get flatlined fucking around with Dubois.
I think they really trying to get Dubois like somewhere like star status. They trying hard, bro.
Trying to get him out of there. Yeah. Because if he loses this, he should go sit down somewhere.
Especially if he get knocked out.
I mean, that's the only way he can lose, I think. I feel like Wardley ain't gonna stop.
I still think he ain't even get a fair shake in that goddamn Usyk fight. Not to bring it up, but man, I thought that was a clean shot. That was his chance right there. The first,
that was the first time, yeah. But that second time was ridiculous. Like, what the fuck happened this second time?
Yeah,
like,
that was
I feel like a lot of people doing what Tio. Tio saying he took a dive with the Shakur fight. Man, I felt like I already said Super El Matias took a dive. I feel like right now, but like Dubois, that second fight, Man, he tried to go out there and make it look like Usyk had all the power in heavyweight boxing. Like, that's a dive to me. Like, seeing guys just go all out knowing they way stronger than that, I'm like, nah, bro. Like, something
I
ain't
could
right,
believe
man.
the Tio. I believe the Tio thing. I was mulling that over in my mind not too long ago, and I didn't voice it because I don't want to be a hater, but it kind of it got some legs to it, because when you're not in the plan, when you're not in the big plan, right? And they say, oh, because really you disrespected the man with the money, like the guy who had the turkey plan. You disrespected him. It's just Shakur is the darling, and he can make up for it because he comes with the whole brat pack. Like, you get the support. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like a buy one get 4 or 5 free. You know what I'm saying? You can't miss that shit, right? So if you was T.O. and you was playing a game and you know that you're not part of the big plan, but if you do this, then you can get 2 or 3 more fights with your biggest paydays that you have seen, with everything you've done already, because you're not going to be the darling. It's either that or you got to go against a real murderous row. It's like, yeah, you're going to do, and it's not the first time Kovalev said that he took a dive against Canelo.
Yep, I remember that.
I say I say that shit would that happen when you look at that fight with Plant and Canelo. Look at that shit again. That shit looks suspect as hell, man. The way he was falling down and getting up. So it's not, like, for all my Shakorians, listen, go get you some pads. You know what I'm saying? Go sit down. I'm not saying that he did. I'm just saying that I wouldn't put it past him.
This is my conspiracy. This is my conspiracy theory to where that whole thing has legs for me. It starts with several different Easter eggs that were being left. He said, my career is on the line. Teofimo Lopez, he was like, I got to win, my career is on the line, right? He was real strong with that. Then everything he was saying was making you believe that the Teo that needed to show up was going to show up, right? Yep. Move forward. You see Jay Prince and Teo in a conversation. So he's like, yeah, you've been to my, I've been over your house. We talked boxing. This was when you was talking about signing me. And he was like, yeah. So moving forward, you already know what time it is right now. And then Teo just stopped talking and he sat back. You feel what I'm saying? And then tried to reevaluate the fact that, no, I thought we had a relationship, right? Move forward. When Teo and his pops were doing we're doing stuff, and then Shakur and him had that face off, right? Teo is just kind of looking one way, and then he's staring at Shakur. Shakur is talking to him, but he's just got this look on his face. Shakur then bumps him. From the angle, if you're looking at the footage when he's on the stage, you don't see Teo's face when they show the angle of the camera facing the audience. When you see that angle, Teo's just standing there looking at him. Then he tilts his head to the side like, these niggas is really serious. They really want me to not show up. And he's just standing there looking like, I really don't know what to do. And then look at his performance. For me, it was just like, whoa, you got the talking points. Shakur bumped you to let you know what time it was. Like, you better go along with the game plan. Stop this dumb shit. I'll accept this dumb shit, but you better go along with the game plan. And then you look at the fact that he started doing the weird thing of that I called out Brian Norman Jr. for. Why are you throwing jabs from that far out? Who are you intending to hit? Was it just to get the hand going? You just waving at him? What the fuck are you doing throwing jabs and punches, and this dude is nowhere in range? and he's not coming forward. So why are you doing that? So
Yeah, plus he
that's
sold us
just me.
something.
That's just me.
But he sold us that he could touch him. I'm like, you know, when you a champion, and I had to dig into Magisterianis' ass. You know, I was like, man, you can't go out like that. Like, you go in there, you go out swinging. That's one thing I respect about Deontay Wilder. Another thing I respect about Errol Spence. Errol Spence was gone. You couldn't stop that man from trying to go pursue, you know, the greatness. Like T.O. did not even, he didn't put it all on the line, if you ask me.
No,
I think Carlos Castro, the way Carlos Castro, I'll take the way Carlos Castro in an effort and getting knocked out. I even take what
Exactly,
Frank Martin did with Tank. You know, I'll take that on an effort
going
like
out
to
on your
get knocked
shield.
out. But T.O. didn't sell out, bro. He didn't sell out the way he needed to hold down the fort and say, no, this is my strap. Like, I got pride, and it's like, no, you got to unalive me to get this. Like, I didn't see that in that performance.
Like not even around 12, bro.
Morataya fought the first round to the 12th round. Like, this is my strap. I'm the tenured professional here.
Bro.
Andy, you good?
Yeah.
You not gonna beat me tonight.
He felt like he'd run through a wall for his belt.
Yeah.
I raise y'all up one. Freaking Richardson Hitchins. Bro, get your ass out there, bro. Like, you don't want to look like how you look. Like, man, talking all that shit. Like,
Quack.
Get your ass out there, man. Like, you go on all these shows, Twitter and all that, you know, running behind Shakur and all that. Bro, go on that, bro. If you lose, you're gonna lose like, you know, how you win. Like,
his best bet to save face is to leave 140.
I thought
he's in a lose-lose situation.
I could have sworn they said he was going on 147 when they announced he was the fight.
Yeah, go up there and see if you can snatch Quran.
Yeah, he gotta get that. Yeah, he gonna have to. Have to go
That's not gonna be an easy fight because Quran is gonna come in that fight way bigger than you.
Yep. Yeah.
But I said when I was looking at it, when I was looking at Richardson, man, in the preparation, and I was looking at all the things he was saying and was doing, in the back of my mind, I was saying, man, I hope you're doing everything that you need to be doing, you know, when you're not in front of the camera. Because I saw him in the gym, but it's like they giving me trust issues between what T.O. did, between what he just did. Like, I got trust issues in boxing now, man. I'm like, I don't know when to believe, like, because it's like we want to believe them. They taking a big fight. Like, why take that and then lay down like that? Why disappear like that? Why do all that talking and missing it? Like, it don't make sense. It's hustling backwards to me.
We was all talking about that whole card, even that main fight right there. Like, bro, like, yeah, this is coming out party. That would been his catapult. If you could tame the bull, man, he dropped that ball, bro. Like, that's in front of your home crowd. That's your home crowd, bro.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact.
Yeah, and it brings me to this point. That's why I got to give credit to these three fighters. I got to give credit to Sam Nooks. Sam Nooks came out in his loss, spoke highly of the guy who beat him, spoke highly of, yo, I cracked this young man with everything I had, but he's got a beard. He's the type of guy that blah, blah, blah. You know, gave his props to the winner. You got to give it to Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz held it. He said, yeah, this one loss don't define him. Some people may have had Andy winning that fight. You hear what I'm saying? Andy said, I thought I did enough to win it. But he was gracious in his defeat. Credit Brian Norman Jr. I'm not speaking of senior right now, but I'm speaking of junior when junior comes out and he recognizes that, yes, I was a champ. But when Devin told me there's levels to this, I thought he only meant punching at each other in the ring. there's levels to training, there's levels to the team you have, your marketing, your promotion. All of that shit matters when you wanna dance on the big stage. And in that moment when he got clipped and caught, he realized that, yeah, they mastered something to fuck with me, and now I have to think about that. And then he realized that my corner had nothing for me. He was open about all of that. Hitchins, you need to step up to the plate and give us that. Don't do a Keyshawn and then never take accountability and say, no, I just found religion.
Yeah, he don't got the machine behind him. That's what they. When he got on Mesa Cam and he was raving about Keyshawn and oh, this my brothers and all that. He forget that you can't do what they do. They got the machine behind them.
Yeah.
You just tagging on because he had to check you about publicly, criticizing about the fight.
You the distant cousin. He's the distant cousin that they see. That they see every Easter.
Yep.
Not even Christmas. We just see you during the Easter holiday because it's a tradition for you for your family to come down here and stay a couple of days and shit like that.
Yeah, but AC like a day, like a night. You stay at night for real.
You're not part of the crew, bro. Just you gotta accept that you are not part of the crew. You have to run your own race.
You gotta do your own thing, bro. Like it's none of that. It's no teams in boxing. That I have not yet to see it, bro.
And if you're independent, if you're a free agent, this was not a good look as a free agent when you talk about doing business.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to own up to that and come out and speak to that and let everyone know your accountability, especially the industry, because your coach, his job ended. His job ended. He may be the guy that's going to be in the corner with you, but all the physical stuff, all of that's done. It was all up to you and your body and you being responsible for what you're consuming and putting in your body. Yes, shit happens, but you've been doing this. You've been doing this, you know, my boy. So for you to fuck this up and you saying that you're a free agent, well, you might have ended your free agent career to the fact that you may have to now go back and sign a couple of fight deals with Eddie just to find something to wipe your shitty ass with, because you just shitted on your own career. So, bro, the magnitude of what you did as far as understanding the business and your leverage in negotiations, man, you just made yourself sketchy as fuck. And what was the word we used you used earlier? Starts with a C.
Credibility.
Credibility. As a free agent, where's your credibility level at? What would your credit score be after this one?
Yeah, and salute, good point, AC. Salute, Isaiah, man. Welcome aboard, man. What's on your mind, brother?
Yo, what's going on? Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah,
man. What's up? Salute.
Yeah, I be listening, but I just don't be typing and shit. But you know what, bro? There's a lot going on right now in boxing, bro. And oh man, it's crazy because AC just said, you know, these dudes know exactly what they put in their body. You know, like we can't ride for one fighter and then, you know, some like they pop and then we're like, damn, but what if he was contaminated? You know what I mean? We got to keep that same energy for all of them. And me personally, I don't really like. It's just sad, bro. It's just sad that you know that people only see Ryan as that, and now I'm hearing people say that Ryan was never that good. I'm not gonna hold you. I think Ryan, a focused Ryan, if he would have did this in the beginning of his career, I feel like people would take him serious. But a lot of people forget he was getting bread before he even hit the pros. You know what I mean? Because he was a pretty boy. He used to do he got real famous off of just punching the speed bag, which I think he owns. He owns the speed bags. So for people to say, you know, he's dirty like right now when like we ain't even seen the results from Barrios, I just see a lot of hypocrisy right now, and I don't like it, bro. I don't like that some people can't be honest about the situation. And me, I'm one to troll with certain people, but you know there be certain panels that I keep it like real, like ain't no trolling, you know, because at the same time, like it's like damn, like Ryan, people are automatically saying he was juiced up, you know, the Barrios fight. I don't know yet until the results come in, but if he's on that clear, or if he's on anything that you know that ain't gonna pop on a test, Shakur better stay far away from him, because I'm not saying Ryan could beat Shakur, but at the same time, somebody who's on that juice, you got to be insanely careful, because Shakur, I feel like he's just reached his prime, and I feel like he just reached his peak, and I don't want Ryan to ruin that. You know what I mean? I want to see Shakur in these fights, and it's hard, man. It's hard. Boxing is it's in a weird place right now, bro. But
So
that's all I want to say for now.
Let me ask you this question then, Isaiah. What would be the smart next move for Shakur?
Not fighting Ryan, bro, because if he fights Ryan at 140, right? And this is what I don't want. I don't want Ryan to come down in weight, and I don't want it to be like the whole Tank thing when he was like, "Oh, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm eating tacos. Look at me. This shit don't affect me." And then Shakur cook him, or Shakur beat him at 140, and everyone's gonna say what? Well, I'm lying. I don't think many Shakur fans are gonna say, "Oh man, like Ryan was drained," because now it's cool to do rehydration clauses. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Tank Davis did one to Ryan Garcia, which at the end of the day, I feel like it was cool, because where are these guys at in their careers right now? Where in the weight are these guys at? You know what I mean? So just to sit back and reflect. You see, I'm a fan of boxing. I'm not a fanboy of these fighters. I'm a keep it honest and real when I have to. And if we're being completely honest, everybody who was at 135 either ended up at 147. Devin is talking about moving up to 54. So them having Tank on that list, it's not reasonable and it's not real. So for Shakur to bring Ryan down, it's not real, because I don't think Ryan can make the weight, and I don't want to hear those weight drain excuses, and I don't want to hear a certain type of fan base say it's okay when it's really not.
So
You know what I mean?
140, what's the smart fight for him?
I feel like he needs to handle business at 140, and
So what fight? What fight? That's what I'm
either he could do Gary, he could do I don't know who the I think what's the dude from the UK?
Dalton Smith.
He could do Dalton Smith.
He's at 47.
Oh, okay. So who's at 40 though? Oh, there we go.
No,
Oh,
it's Dalton.
No, it is Dalton Smith. It is. My bad.
okay, cool. So look. He could fight Hitchinson, but let's keep it honest. Shakur tends to build relationships, and he treats the game like a friendship. And I don't think it's cool. I feel like 140 is active, and it could be active. You see, I grew up watching fighters dominate a weight class, and if they couldn't dominate a weight class, they either moved up or moved down. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see these guys jump up just because they believe that they're a big name and they're a money fight. I get it. You want to make money. But also, too, Shakur's kind of late to the party, bro, because he was with Top Rank, and all them free TV, it don't translate to pay-per-view. You see, they haven't even dropped pay-per-view numbers for the TO fight. And at the same time, let's be honest, a lot of us have the zone, and a lot of us paid for that upgrade pass, and we pay $40 a month, right?
Mhm.
Just to get these 12 fights. So for them to say that, if they come out and say, "Oh, we did a M," but what about all the active subscriptions that some were even forced? Because I used to hear stories of DAZN charging people without their knowledge. So for me, bro, I want to see Shakur sit down at 140 and really reevaluate himself. And if Keyshawn is gonna be at 140 for a while, if he don't move up like he said he was, I'd rather see Shakur go back down. Because
So that's where I wanted to catch you right there. Sorry to interrupt, but that's where
no, you good.
To catch you right there. Going back down. What's the fight for him?
He could fight Raymond. He could. I don't want to see him revisit Floyd, because Floyd ain't even make it on the scale. I feel like Floyd just was chatting, but he could fight Raymond. But also too, Shakur was very vocal, and he stated out of his own mouth. He said he was gonna shoot up to 40, and Keyshawn was gonna stay at 140. He was gonna hand him that belt, and he was gonna shoot down. The 35 division could be popping, but these guys aren't fighting each other right now. Okay. And if we're being honest, Tank is champion in recess. Mason is not gonna fight Shakur because Jay Prince is gonna protect them, and also too, Shock actually has been very vocal. But what did Kerr say? Nah, you need to fight my little bro Ray Ford, which I don't think that applies anymore, because Ray Ford didn't handle his business against Nick Ball, who got knocked out by Figgy.
So let me wrap that up real quick. I'm looking at the rankings at the 135-pound division, right? The WBC has not elevated anybody. JD Herrera is still just an interim champion. So when you talk about Shakur going back down to 35, right? He
could fight Herrera.
No, there's only one fight for him at 35.
That's not true, bro.
Listen to me. He's not going to go back down to 35 and fuck with the WBC.
He doesn't have to fuck with the WBC
without seeing O'Shaquie Foster. So if he wants to be a champion, and come back down and have that champion status, where he can get the extra O's on those paychecks because he's a champion, he has to see O'Shaquie.
Which is a great choice in my opinion. And I feel like, you see, someone who talks about the sparring and says he did him dirty and he exposed them, off of the clip that I saw of him and Keyshawn sparring, I noticed that through that clip, I mean, I like to watch the game, bro. You know what I mean? I watch a fight 2-3 times after it's done, just to kind of see in perspective what I saw. And I went back to look at the sparring a couple times, and what I saw was, there's a way to beat Shakur. There is. You got to be explosive, you got to be quick, and you got to always be on the front foot, constant, but you got to match his speed. That's what I took from that video. And I feel like Shock, I don't want to say he's got the fastest footwork, you know what I mean? But I feel like Shock does have that pop. And I'm not saying Shock could beat Shakur, but if Shakur said out of his own mouth that as soon as they move up to 40, he's going to give the belt to his little bro. But also, too, people are getting the misconception that he was stripped. He was stripped, but because he didn't want to pay. So why are you lying and saying that you're going to give the belts to little bro and not paying your fees to go back down? Because he could have let them know. He could have been like, yo, you know what? I'm going to go up, grab the belt. I'm going to see what I'm going to do, and I'm going to come back down. But here's this money just in case. Which if he would have gone that route, I guarantee you they would have ranked him the WBC way. If we keeping it honest.
Well, if we're going to keep
I mean, if you pay them fees, you're good.
If we're going to keep it honest, I don't know if you've been watching the channel maybe within the last couple of weeks, but we've been all over that situation, and we have our general consensus and stuff like that. And me myself, I've broken that situation down from every aspect of it. You know, he couldn't have gone up there. He couldn't have gone up there and did anything with Teal without the approval, without the express approval from the WBC. The thing is, O'Shaquie said, "I'll pay that 120,000 tab." He also said in an interview that he's good and Mauricio is good with that deal. That's why I was expressing the fact that JD Herrera has not been elevated, nor has a fight been ordered for the vacant belt.
Yeah, but
O'Shaquie's deal, let me finish.
Go
O'Shaquie's
ahead.
deal is on the table. It's a real active deal.
Yeah, but Kerr's not gonna take it.
But to bring up Raymond Morataya, but if I'm only going by what you're saying, that he could even go back down. If he goes back down,
I'm going by what he said.
And I'm going by what he said as well. And I'm going by what O'Shaq said as well. So I'm painting the whole picture. I just don't want to focus on just one line of something that was said. There was a bunch of actions that happened after that. And the biggest action that happened after that is O'Shaquie broke news when he said, "Yeah, I told Shakur, here's the deal. You will be reinstated. I'll pay the 120,000 of your of the sanctioning fee that you didn't pay. You'll be reinstated. All you got to do is fight me." That's a real offer. If he does not take that offer and comes back down to 35, anything he does after that, which I was trying to allude to, being that you were saying that you're a boxing fan, not a fan of the fighter, was to say, listen, that's a duck.
Oh, shuck it, duck it, duck it.
It is, bro, because look, you see, me, bro, I'm a man of action and I'm a man of principle, so that's just how I move. So if somebody says something, I expect them to do it. Shakur's actions have not showed us that he's willing to go back to 35, and I get it. He got stripped. Why? Because of his actions. All of a sudden, he wants to ride. He wants to ride off a Bud just because he believes.
Yep.
Hey, I will say something though to AC, to your point. On my fault, y'all. Just really quick, right? Like,
did he go out? Hold on, I want him to finish his thought. He keep going out. I don't know, but go ahead, Dev.
I was gonna say I like the Shaq fight, but I do like that Muratalla fight. Like, I would be okay with that. The way Muratalla performed against a boxer and Andy Cruz, a different style of boxing, but nonetheless was slick. I like that. I like the pressure. I like the output. And he fought, like you said, he fought to keep his belt. I like that fight against Shakur. I wouldn't mind that. If you can't get Shaq, line it up with Raymond.
Well, look, I want to address something because Isaiah and AC, y'all was on the same sheet of music. He's on the same sheet of music. He's on the same sheet. Oh, I see you, Isaiah, your phone. Okay, no problem. Yeah. You and AC, y'all both on the same sheet of music, and y'all both had the same logic as far as if you don't go do that. I haven't heard Shakur here recently say it afterwards, and this is the same guy to say, yeah, if you've been following me, I say something and then go do something totally different. That's when I say, okay, well, you just put the nail in the coffin for me, buddy. I'm off. But if he were to go back down, I don't think it'll be a Raymond Moratalla, and the reason why is because he was on Top Rank, and we went over the deal. Everybody reported that it was a 5-fight deal. The article I got said that it was a 6-fight, $18 million minimum deal. So basically, he's going to get $3 million or more, depending on the dance partner and, what the venue was. And we went over all of the opponents. He had a Navarrete contract. He had a Jermaine Ortiz contract. Jermaine Ortiz fought T.O. and he fought Loma. You know what I'm saying? T.O. fought Jermaine Ortiz. T.O. fought Loma. Shakur was going to get a Jermaine Ortiz. He was going to get a Navarrete. It was going to be a Moratalla probably. Of course, she probably was going to have Zepeda in there because of how the ranking was. And it either would have been Loma. He said he wasn't going to fight Keyshawn. So we went over all of them, but one voluntary. We can pretty much for sure guarantee that he was going to have to fight Moritalia. You know what he did when he was on an island where it was his belt and 2 other belts. He didn't go to where he didn't go to the island where the one man with the one belt was. He went to a remote promotional company. Said, "Don't make the fight with the guy with the one belt," and he left 2 belts over at Top Rank. If he really wanted to fight Raymond Moritalia, and then think about it, he came full circle to fight a top ranked fighter in TO, bro. Like the moves he don't make no damn sense. His fans don't hold him no kind of accountability, and it's us that's sitting up here being pushed as haters. I wouldn't hold my breath on this dude going back down to 35 right now. He's going to allow the machine. Yeah. It's almost like all he need to do really is put out a survey and say, who y'all want me to fight? And the machine is going to create the answers, and the machine is going to default you to the answer, and it's not going to be nobody moving down. It's going to be a freak show where he gets somebody at an advantage, like with Ryan coming down to 40.
Hey, bro, so basically everybody using the Canelo and Bud recipe, right? We gonna fight each other while we duck the others, you know? Yep. Like we wanted Canelo and Benavidez. We wanted Crawford and Boots. We didn't want them to fight each other.
Yep.
You know? So now we're gonna get Shakur and Ryan when we want Oshaki and Shakur, Devin and Ryan. You know?
Yeah, we want Ryan and Devin or Ryan and Rolly. Those are the 2 biggest fights that make the most sense.
Devin and Shakur or Oshaki and Shakur. You feel me? Like we want to see him have a chance to lose, damn it.
I'll take Shakur and Hiroka. I'll take that shit.
Oh, he would never. He would never. And that's why I'm mad. That's the only reason I'm mad he lost. Is because it knocked him down where Shakur would never have to fight him.
And that's
I don't know. That dude might go up to 47 where you ain't gonna be able to get around him. That's what I would do if I was him. If it's hard, if he don't come back in the spring or by the end of the summer, hey, I'm going to 47. I'm gonna wreak havoc.
Hey, I feel like Hiroka would whoop Moritaya's ass. Like that style of running up on a man, you can't run up on Hiroka like that. Not him. He too small. He would have to learn how to box overnight.
Who are you talking about?
If Moritalia fought Hiroka, like he wouldn't be able to use that come forward aggressive style versus Hiroka.
Now Hiroka got an uppercut. He's got a cross. He's just
man.
He's a tough motherfucker, bro. He lives up like he lived. I think in America, even though he lost, I think he gained a lot of American fans, and I think that's
to do that in a loss is always impressive.
Yeah.
Let me just give everybody a prescription so we can land, man. Listen, this is why I call it fruits and veggies, y'all. Do not get your blood pressure high. Do not get bent out of shape thinking that this man Shakur is gonna fight anybody that can give him a run for his money, y'all. I mean, y'all can do it. I'm just cautioning, you know what I'm saying? Don't throw caution to the wind. Y'all can do it. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not. Like, I don't have, because listen, this is the thing. This is where I'm gonna land at. He's a 4-division champion. He got lineal. He got all this. They saying he's number 3 pound for pound. He's already on the I've done enough plan. Oh, he's already done enough to do whatever. It's like even though he ain't cleared none of them divisions out, but we playing the accolade game, so he's at a point to where he's done enough as far as what the media is going to push and what the media is shoving down everybody's throat. So don't ask him, oh, why would he do that? Why would he look back? Why would he take on a risk like that? What do he bring to the table? All of those things. So don't hold y'all breath, y'all. Keep your blood pressure down. That's where I'm gonna land at, man. How y'all want to land?
I just want to land by saying Keyshawn is a little nigga, right? Because if you notice, like the level he's on, he's slightly ahead of Abdullah Mason's. You feel me? Just like Abdullah is slightly ahead of a Kid Austin. Like, he's down there on that level. But he's the same age as Devin Haney. You know what I mean? That's why he want to try to call out those names, because those should be his peers. But his peers are college kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not even on that adult level. You know? He's just like the top prospect in boxing. Like, what the fuck, you know? Like, I feel like he ain't never gonna really challenge himself. Like, you know, we already know they put them dark winged duck glasses on, put their little bandana over their eyes, and they gonna quack, bro. They not showing up to the match. You feel me? And I could see him and Hitchins fighting each other, which might be why Hitchins pulled out and whatever. But regardless, man, like, I ain't got time for these ducks in the sport. And I guarantee when we see those two ducks fight each other, ain't no feathers gonna fly. You know? So I'm sick of it. We want the real big fights. We want all of them to fight somebody like a Hiroka, somebody like a Muay Thai, somebody like a Duarte, you know? Yeah, you know. It should always be a puncher versus a boxer in every match until we got nothing but boxers left or punchers left. Whatever it is, let's get it.
But that's why we're here to speak on, and this is where I live. I think that's, for me, this is why part of me is here, is to put that spotlight on Hitchins for his debacle, but we're also talking about who's gonna step up in this division, or who has the ability to step up in this division and unify and become undisputed without it having to be a tournament. The last time this division had a undisputed champion, that champion became undisputed through a tournament. It wasn't like, you know, one guy stepped up and, you know, he just was trying to he was just making the fights with everybody and taking them belts like a Jamel did at 54. This is what we're looking for. Who's going to be the Jamel or Errol Spence of 140 and really start to put that shit together and make a solid run? Shakur is there. They're telling us he's the number 3 pound for pound guy. So you should be making that run. Hitchins, you were saying you was going up to 147 prior to this fight. Whatever the situation is, make that's your best move, because to stick around and fight that mandatory, bro, once you step in the ring with that mandatory, I think the decision will be made to blackball him. Listen, he gets nothing. We'll take the guy who has 3 of the belts and make him whatever, make that IBF don't mean shit. And we'll stall that man out till he can't get nothing, and then do him like we did Baccarat. So you stay at 40 one way or another, they gonna get that belt off you sooner or later. So just go up to 47, be humble, start all over, take accountability for your shit, and you know you'll be all right. For the rest of the fighters that'll be at 140, y'all gotta really start to mix it up right now. Gary Antoine stepped out and said, listen, I took on one of the toughest motherfuckers in this division. I walked away with the victory. Dalton Smith, he said, yeah, I just knocked out one of the toughest motherfuckers in this division. So, you know, y'all want to fight me, y'all got to come to the UK. So 2 dudes just made their stands. You know, Dalton Smith will be wrapped up. Gary Antoine, he's not announced anything. Shakur hasn't announced anything. That's the fight at 140 right now that we should be clamoring. You feel what I'm saying? Other than that, great show. I hope people found tidbits. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment on the videos and things like that. And, you know, in the playback moving forward. Um, Promote the homie Bodywork, man. He puts a lot of work into putting these shows together and things like that. And you know, from a person who's never done that before, and then he gave me the platform to do it. The shit is a lot harder than what people think it is. You really have to put the effort in to do your research and, make sure if you're leading the show, there are no misspokens. You know what I'm saying? Everything's clear, concise, it's all factual, and that's a whole new level of appreciation that I have for people that actually go out here and make content that matters. So support the channel, support Bodywork and his effort and things like that. Me, I'm good. I do this, because I enjoy being up here. I'm happy that he wants me as the co-host and everything, but he's been doing this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all support him, and that's where I'll end.
Appreciate that, man. Good points as always, man. Thanks for your contributions. My God.
Yeah, for sure.
Dev or D Calico, which one of y'all want to go?
Yeah, man. Salute to y'all, man. A good show. Not much to add on the boxing side. Like, there's so many matchups you can just make. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the rankings myself, and for a guy like Shakur Stevenson, this is the most A-side you've ever had in your career, right? And it's let's see you use it, So that's where I'm at with it. I did have a question, but maybe I'll save it for the next one because I think you and Bodywork brought up Devin Haney and how they sort of lock in on an opponent before they pick one. So what do you think they see in Xander? I don't know. What do you think they see in Xander that I know we have to close the show out, but just something that was on my mind I wanted to ask earlier. I'm having trouble seeing that, like the Haney versus Xander, how that matchup goes, because they called him out. And like I think you said, right, they locked in on one specific weakness in Brian Norman's game and executed. So what do you think they see in Xander?
There's a couple of flaws that he hasn't corrected yet. So they'll notice that he's still struggling with his jab and his lead hand command. So there's still those little levels that a person like Devin Haney can take advantage and easily just outpoint him and it not be considered a boring fight.
Well, I see it like this. I think that they believe that he's still green, and following along and watching Devin progress, I believe that they think that they can be elusive enough, because the way I see it is you got to be able to corral Xander. The way Devin and him probably see it is he's going to have to corral them because he's so used to going against guys. They probably can punch, but you know how to move his feet just enough to where you don't get full leverage. Now you can time him, but I think that they would try to be front runners and then make Xander have to chase them to score points. And I think that they think that they can stick and move enough to make Xander kind of chase, because unless he's even more powerful, Devin, then they know it's probably not going to be a knockout or nothing like that. It's going to be more of a boxing thing. So I think that they feel he's green enough to where they can outbox him. And they got a think tank. AC pointed this out about Brian Norman and what he realized. He realized that it was the whole system that Devin and them had behind him. It's not just, he's not the best fighter in the world, but they got a think tank behind him to where he can call in the Mickey Bay and say, all right, how would you do this? All right, show me the movement. Show me this. Okay, when do you attack? And they can do that repetitively. They can call in Zab. They can call in Roy. That Bay Area thing. They can call in Andre Ward. All right, Ward, man. How would you attack Xander? Like, they got a plethora. They got a think tank. And Devin, even though he's not my style of fighter, You know what I'm saying? I'm not like the fan of Devin, but it's the think tank behind him. So now he's at a point to where I was looking at it like he might be a Frankenstein guy. It's like, yeah, he might be a little bit of a Frankenstein. You got to have the skills to exploit that. But it's like me going against, in the real estate game, going against people with the old money. It's not just me and my money and my skills and my strategy. It's me going against them and them being able to combine their heads together to come against me. So you're gonna go back to the war chest, and everybody and their mom are gonna be trying to give him advice on how to beat Xander. He just got to go in there and execute. And I think Xander is green enough. He don't got that much power. He's just a big dude that can move. That's my opinion, Dev, to answer your question. But great question, man. You always bring
No, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, no, that was some good points. Got me thinking now.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Because I was still on the same path as, he's green, but I just said it as he's green and he still has a lot of flaws that he hasn't 100% corrected, and they could easily just take advantage of that.
Now I don't know if he win. I'm just saying that's like that Mikey Garcia. I see something, because you think boxing wise, he could probably outbox Earl, but Earl, he was just a dog to where his presence and his pressure alone, and he had people be forgetting about his jab and his body work and all that. Mikey thought he saw something. It could be a Mikey Garcia situation with Xander, because Xander has been growing on I wasn't that high on Xander, but I got to get a young man credit that he's showing different wrinkles and he's getting big and he's more confident, and he pulled that shit off. So they might be Mikey Garcia. They might see something. I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion. I just answered your question, Dave.
And I just answered the question too, because I'm on record on this channel saying I was super impressed with his victory over Abbas Baruch or Baral. So I'm just answering the question. Do I think Devin actually wins the fight against Xander? I don't know. I don't know. If he's gonna win, he's gonna win in the manner I answered the question. If not, Xander's gonna steamroll him.
Word. What you got, Isaiah? How you want to land, brother? And thanks for all your input, man.
Yo, what's going on? Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, nah, but it's because you know what? StreamYard glitches on my phone, bro. I don't know what it is, but but before that happened, I was just saying, I'll just end with that, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think about Devin Xander. But I was just saying that Shakur shouldn't count his eggs before they hatch, because he following his big bro Bud, and he making dumb decisions. But Bud been undisputed multiple times. Shakur hasn't, so he doesn't even want to burn his bridges. He in his prime. But honestly, I think Devin beats Xander. Not easy, but I think he outboxes him, just because Devin is a big dude. And I think it was 35, Devin was blowing up 25 pounds. So what goes to say that he ain't blowing up 25 at 40, 25 at 47, and he might even do the same at 54. Somebody calling out Xander so confidently, I feel like he sees something. And it's like you said earlier, Body, you said Xander, he could box, but he ain't got no power, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I feel like they could take advantage, because Xander's a big dude, but so is Devin. So I kind of feel like that's a fight I don't really want to see. I feel like it's gonna be a boring fight, and I feel like Devin could take it, just off of like what I've seen. But that's all I gotta say for now, brother.
Well, yeah, that's good. I mean, yeah, he just is what he see. He got to be able to execute, and that's where Xander surprised me, because I was like, I thought he was the weakest link. I stopped saying, I was like, man, some people can't deal with that boxing style, and if they got a good game plan, and either one of these guys, if you ain't got enough power to really like put these guys down, they can definitely outbox you. You got to have an eraser. So this will be a fence match. I think it'll probably be. I think Xander would make Devin increase his output. I don't think he can be having those 70 punch fights and all that dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? 6 punches around and shit. I don't think he can get away with that. But that's just my take, man. Good question. I might have to do a show on that, because I did the A-side problems where he's stuck in between Keyshawn and Xander. But Don't got no answer for that. It's all these A-sides sitting by the dock of the bay. Like Boots, he's sitting by the dock of the bay. Devin, dock of the bay. Keyshawn, he running around calling out a little bit of whoever. Just sitting by the dock of the bay. No offers being sent. Meanwhile, Ashaki, the B-side, sent out an offer and he's being disrespectful. This is the state of boxing, y'all, but I appreciate everybody who came through tonight, man. Salute Isaiah, man. Come through more often, man. We have good conversations. We don't always agree. We have light sparring over here, but we always try to have a dialogue where everybody get their
your body, bro. Nah, bro. One thing I really like about your live stream is that me and AC was talking about some we both have a different viewpoint on, but we wasn't yelling at each other.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate. And one thing I like about your channel is you keep it a stack, bro. Like whatever you believe is what you believe, and you ain't about to just spin the narrative because so and so said this, and you feel like some type of way today. But I appreciate you for letting me jump on, bro. So and now what I'm gonna do, bro? I'm gonna turn on the notifications to tap in when you live.
Yeah, if you want, you could put your email in the private. That's how all of my guys that be coming up here, and I always say, listen, I send the link out. You don't have to. I always put if available.
Nice. I got you, bro.
So if you do that, put your email in the private chat, and I'll send it out like I do all the other guys. And sometimes they don't hop on, sometimes they do, but it's there if you're available. So I like the way you talk about boxing. Appreciate the good feedback, man. That's what the channel is all about.
Yeah,
thank you.
Big shout out, Isaiah. Good chopping it up with you, bro.
Nah, for sure. Until next time, y'all.
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to say this to Dev as well, and you, Body. If we gonna do that show, Dev pull up early on and shit like that, because the show was inspired by a question that you asked.
Oh, for sure. Anytime I got some time and I see that link, man, I'm joining.
All right, for sure. On to the next Body.
All right,
y'all. Have a good evening. Another good show in the books. I got your email, Isaiah, man. You will be on the list of the people when I send out the links, man. Great show, man. I'm gonna leave with this final thought. I'm not a guy that's gonna jump on a bandwagon the minute you have, adversity. I know boxers, you get hit in the head for a living. I did give you extra credit, Richardson, for having the IBF and that rehydration. It's tough. That's why, I ain't really punching in the ribs. I'm not doing it. I'm just saying that where you're at in the game and the value that the game sees you and the uphill battle you've been going through, your momentum just took a big hit. So now it's almost like, man, you gotta be wise, man. Like maybe the politics, being political about everything, maybe that's not the best thing. Maybe you done found yourself to where you got to go take a tough one just to, you know what I'm saying? You remember, what was that, 5 Heartbeats, when the dude came out there and was like, every night I got to prove my love. Like, yeah, Richardson, you got to come back because, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have to prove your love, to us. We still pulling for you. I'm not the type that's gonna be like, nah, I'm not a fan no more just because of this. It gotta be a laundry list of things where I finally say that I'm no longer a fan. Like what Shakur did. Like I'm no longer a fan. I de-gaff about what happens. You know what I'm saying? If you could tell me one thing and then say, yeah, I'm the type to where I could tell you one thing and then go do something totally different. And then me as a fan, I'm supposed to be like, yeah, with my pom-poms, knock it off. Well, Richardson Hitchins, you up against it, bro. I'm not off the bandwagon. I just had to come out and be honest and do what the channel always do. This really was another form of an adversity university, because this is adversity. I'm looking for you to be resilient. I'm looking for a little less this back on the social media and a little more of this with a tough, valuable, durable, punching opponent. You know what I'm saying? You can't redeem yourself. If you was truly sick, I hope you get better, but then you also can't ghost us. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that in relationships. And in boxing, you know, fighters have a relationship with their fans. You know what I'm saying? It's not intimate. It's more like, hey, man, in order for me to be a fan, you got to move the way you need to move in order to maintain the vitality of the sport. See, we not with the drama and all the gimmicks and all that and all the stuff that's going to harm boxing. That's why I call it fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content, not opinion-based, even though we have ours. Why? Because we got to put the nuts in the bolts. We got to put stakes in the ground. We got to cater to the things that's going to make boxing appreciate, because they say what you appreciate appreciates, and we appreciate the sport. You all need to appreciate it too. There are too many examples along the way where you can look at a fighter and they got off in the drugs or alcohol, or they lost their money or whatever, and they sit around with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Well, if I would have moved like this, and if I would have took that fight, and if I would have, don't leave with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and don't leave your fans on red. You know what I'm saying? That's my PSA to Richardson, Hitchins. I hope you get better. I hope you get back in the saddle, and a little less talking, a whole lot of more fighting. As far as Shakur, I'm off. I'm not going to beat him over the head. He said he could tell y'all whatever he want and go do something else. Y'all going to allow him to go do something else. He said he was going down to 35. He was going to drop the belt. Ain't none of that happening. He wanted to jump into something with the 4 Kings and the guy who's already been beaten got bigger, better offers out there. You know what I'm saying? This is the state of boxing, y'all. But hopefully you was able to put something in your rucksack and march on with it. Silence is consent. Meaning that all it takes for evil to prevail is for men and women to remain silent. So we speak to the things that need to be spoken to in the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's always a good time to talk boxing, man. I'm going to scrub the channel. I'm going to get the pause, and I'm going to come right back at you, you know what I'm saying, with some hot sauce. That's what we do over here, y'all. So support the channel. Donate to the channel, cash app the channel, man. We put in time. We try not to be like copycat. We try not to, like, you know, piggyback off of people's, if it's an interview or something we need a source so you can hear it straight from the mouth, yes, but we give credit where it's due. We don't just straight copycat people's content. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I have to be original. I have to stay on the track, even though we do get off on the beaten path. We just care about the sport and the boxer. So support the channel, man. Y'all know I could talk boxing all night, but anyways, thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. Well, we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, Rex? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.